If you guys have questions, this is the best time to post your questions before I go crazy. Empera, your question is noted. Ah! Pam, what spirit is influencing your life, thoughts and decisions? I decide. I make my own decisions. I don't need to be influenced by a spirit. Noted. Amakwalo, okwalo. Okhudulu. Ow! Hey, Kamagu. Ezaminduku ziyobashaya. Suka ni madoda. Good evening. Zobasha. Oh, kwalo. Muthu, zangwa. Pesande, I see your question. It's a good one. All right, let's pause the music. We sing all the time. A good advice, no? A good advice. If you guys If you guys want me to host these lives more, the lives need to be worth my time. I'm just gonna put it like that, yabo. The lives have to be worth my time. So they have to be, I think at the very least, there has to be some gifts or something, you know. Because also, we can't be talking all the time, man. We're always talking, guys, our history, or we need something practical, you know. So I try to make sure that I live in the real world. As much as I like the discussions and all that, but we also live in the real world. We can't always be here. There has to be some actual, tangible, there has to be some tangible outcomes. Someone is asking me about Onyati, Obudede, Onogika, Onogika Umbengo, Onokhonzi Ngonyama. Hey, it's a very elusive group, yabo. It's a very elusive group. But mostly, you will find Unyati amongst, nowadays, amongst the Mabomvan. Nowadays, you'll find Unyati amongst the Mabomvan. But I believe that Onyati are originally Amazocho. Onyati, I believe they were originally Amazocho, together with Amamboto, Izilangwe, Odeyi, Amanzimakwe, Amanci. I believe these groups, at some point, they were one people. You have many others. Abechwawu, Amanikwe, Amajali, Amalunga, Amandovelane. And then the biggest problem nowadays is that when we hear similarity in name, or when we hear that one group, we always assume that that group always belonged in that royal family. I'll give you an example. You were asking me about Amazangwa. There are two groups of Amazangwa. There's Zangwa and there's Zangwe. Two groups. There's Zangwa, Ngutu, Khwalo. And then there's Zangwe, who are in origin understood as being Sutu. But whatever I told you, even the Zangwa of Emampondweni, even the Zangwa of Khwalo, at some point they were independent of the family of Nyauza. Because nowadays when you look at Amazangwa, we always think that Kabanba wa Nyauza. Let me show you something. Let me show you something. Give me a minute. I will show you Amazangwa quickly. Just give me a sec. I need to share something on the screen. Yabona Emampondweni within the Mpondo Kingdom. Within the Mpondo Kingdom. You see, from the line of Mtwa, from the line of Mtwa, you see what you have. From Mtwa, you have Khwalo. From Mtwa, you get Khwalo. This is where Amazangwa come from. This is where Amazangwa come from. Ngutu Zangwa. Now, interestingly, if you go to the Kalahari Desert, you still find people known as Khwe. Khwe people. They still live in the desert. They still do all those things that desert people do. So, from Umtwa, you get Ukwalo. And this is the origin of Amazangwa. So when you talk about Amazangwa, you're talking about the descendants of Umtwa within the Amampondo lineage. But the oldest sources that I've found, I'm going to be very honest, the oldest sources that I've found put Amazangwa as an independent group, not as a group that is under Amampondo. They put them as an independent group. I don't know why, but it seems they were independent from Amampondo at some point. Nowadays, they are understood as being under Amampondo. But that is Amazangwa. They are descendants of Umtwa Siwula. And we know in the Kalahari, there's still a group of people who are still roaming the Kalahari. People known as Tsaukwa people, or Tsaukwe. Tsaokoe. Tsaukwe. That is Amazangwa. Greetings everyone. Greetings Imani. Greetings brother. So that is Amazangwa. Now the other brother asked me about Khudulu. Now Khudulu are Amampondo Mise. They are Amampondo Mise. They are under the Mpondo Mise kingship. They were under a prince known as Maga or Umhaga. So the Amakhudulu were in ancient times known as Imihaga. The Haga regiments. In fact, when they went to Xhosa land, Amakhudulu, when they went kwa Xhosa to fight, the family feud of Amachawe and Amachikha, they joined Amachawe, and that's how Amachawe conquered the kingdom of Amaxhosa today. So Amachawe today are still the kings kwa Xhosa, and much of that victory is credited to the Khudulu clan. They were also given the nickname Ngwevu, which means gray hair, Amangwevu. So Khudulu, Amangwevu, Nquba means fish. It's the fish people. They were all under the regiments of Umhaga. And then they went over, they joined the Xhosa kingdom. They helped the royal family to unseat the actual heir, Amachikha. So Amachikha lost the kingship. They lost the throne because of this clan from Amampondomse, this clan known as Amakhudulu, Onquba, Ochangisa, Oskomo, Ozulu. There's a guy who once won the idols thing from Eastern Cape. I forgot his name now, but he was from this clan of Zulu, of Changisa, of Nquba, of Khudulu. Now the name Khudulu means to drag along. Ukhudula is to drag something. We say Khuqa or Khudula. So that is the story of Amakhudulu. Gamampondomse. Now, I know people get confused with these things because people are trying to overly differentiate these groups. No, Amampondomse are different from Amampondo. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Ah, man, these are the same people. Ultimately, these are the same people. Pondomse. Bafana is all the same people. They just have different royal families. And that's what you need to understand. It's different. It's the same people organized under different royal families. You find the Khwe people, Amampondweni, they are Mpondo. You find the Khwe people, Amampondomseni, they are Mpondomse. So which one is the right one? Both are correct. Because if you go back in time, you realize that Amaqweha were independent. So the Qweha who ended up becoming Amampondo are actually Amampondo because they are under the Mpondo kingship. And the Qweha who ended up becoming Amampondomse are in fact Amampondomse. They are in fact Amampondomse because they are under the Mpondomse kingship. So that is, I answered the question on Amakwalo Onutu. I answered the question on Onyat Obuded. Oh, no Giklembengo. No Konzingonyama. I answered the question on Khudulu. Someone is asking about Amagalega, the Poswa family. Now, Amagalega, there is no clan called Poswa amongst Amagalega. So, Poswa would most definitely be a last name, a surname. Now, you cannot use a surname to tell family history in the Galega kingdom because the surname is just the first name from the 1800s. It's not attached to a specific clan. So many people have the same first name. For example, my last name is Tukani. Tukani is my last name. I'm from the Amamfene clan. Amamfene, you find them in Eastern Cape, KZN, Lesotho, Free State. However, there are also other Tukanis who are not Amamfene. I know one or Tukani who are Icha. Someone is asking about Sukwini. Hi guys, I already made a video about Sukwini. I dedicated a specific video. Sukwini, they are Tram people. Sukwini are Tram. There's no debate about it. They were called Sonkwa back in the day, or Swakauken back in the day. Thank you, Ray of Africa. So Sukwini, they are Tram. They are from the mountains, the Sneeuwberg mountains, in the Kham Dibu area, Kham Tobowa, that is to say, at the border of Eastern Cape and Western Cape. Thank you for the gifts, all the way to Kariga and Gqeberha. So the Sukwini are Kham descendants, so-called Bushmen of the mountain, basically. That's what the name is. Someone was asking again. I'm trying to get through the questions about Ntakwenda, Leta, and Boyi. Okay. Ntakwenda, Leta, Boyi, Nwadi. I'm gonna be honest with you, ne? These are some of the older clans in the Eastern Cape. Anyone who's gonna tell you that Ntakwenda is the son of Togu, they're lying. Nobody knows who gave birth to the Ntakwenda. Thank you, Kasas Mukoni. Nobody knows who the Ntakwenda people who gave birth to them, but we know they are indigenous Xhosa, together with Amanzoto, together with Amakila, Ombombo, Obodlinja. So these people are all indigenous Xhosa. That is to say, they are the foundation of the Xhosa society. Before the origin of the Xhosa, before the beginning of the Xhosa, the Amantagwenda were already there, together with Amanzoto, Amankabane, Amakila, and then the hordes out of which Amachawe came from. Opomoya ngabathembu umntwana omhle. Ngabathembu Opomoyi, Zima, Pomoyi, Ntande. All those are Tembu people. The name Pomoyi, in fact, means a long stick. It's a stick in Tongagaz. It's a Khwe, so-called Bushman word. It's a Khwe word. It means long stick. Ipomoyi, Induku, Utondolo. Utondolo. Let me see. Mahaya. Hey, my brother. Mukaranga. The Mahaya people. I've been confused. Are they the same as Mahaye? The Mahaya people, are they the same as Mahaye? I'm confused with those two. I know the Mahaye are actually Zulu. Go Zulu, Mageba, Sabelu Yabizwa, Wompikwane, Onodange. We have a regular from that household. So I'm just not sure if Mahaya, unless Mahaya is purely Tsonga, then I haven't been able to make that differentiation. Let me just quickly go through the comments. Thanks for that. Someone said Ndagwenda is a clan in Tanzania. I was waiting for that. You see, guys, there's a problem that we have in South Africa. The problem is that black South Africans don't feel like they belong in this country. And now they are looking for a home somewhere else. They are looking for a home in Congo. They are looking for a home in Tanzania. Black South Africans are looking for a home in North Africa. Come on, guys. So Black South Africans are from here. Amanda Gwenda, they don't exist anywhere else. Why would Amanda Gwenda exist in South Africa and Tanzania, but skip all the other countries in between? How does that make sense? They skipped all the other countries and just existed in Tanzania and South Africa only. It doesn't work like that. People who left South Africa, who came from here and left, they moved from one place and kept on dropping others. I'll give you an example. Amandwandwe. When they left South Africa, they didn't go to one location. They went to all other locations. They went to Mozambique. They went to Northwest. They went to Zimbabwe. They went to Zambia. They went to Tanzania. They didn't go to one specific place. So that nonsense of saying that people come from Congo and people come, it's complete and utter bollocks. Anyone who thinks that is true, they must come here right now. All the liars, come, I'm ready for you. No more nonsense now. No more nonsense. Amanda Gwenda are indigenous to South Africa and particularly to the Eastern Cape. There is no other Ndagwenda anywhere else except in the Eastern Cape. If there's a Ndagwenda somewhere else, they move to that place. The name Ndagwenda, the name Nwadi is a herb. It's a herb. It's a buffon disticha. It's a herb that was used as a painkiller. It's a herb that was used as a psychedelic. It was used by Izangoma, Amagqirha. When they do the dance, it was used when boys go to the mountain. It had certain properties that allow it to be used there. Ingwadi. It's a buffon disticha. That's it. It has nothing to do with Congo or Tanzania. Hey. And somehow, nobody in these other places are claiming South Africa. Nobody. It's only the black South Africans. Nobody in Zimbabwe is confused about who they are. Nobody in Mozambique is confused. Nobody in Namibia is confused. Nobody in Malawi is confused. Somehow, the one place that has colonial systems in place is the one place where people don't know who the bloody hell they are. Let's call a spade, guy. South Africans don't feel like they belong in their land. They need to belong somewhere else. You are alienated to a land. Therefore, we need to undo that. Now, someone was asking about Amatolo. Amatolo akhona nase KZN. They are from KZN. Kabambo. Bantu Basembo. They are from KZN, around the Drakensberg area. Neighboring clans include Damazizi, Omiya, include Damashrubi, and the others like Amabele and Amangwane. There are people from KZN, Amatolo. Uyabona uzozibini Tunzi, the former Miss Universe and Miss South Africa, Mamtolo. They are originally from KZN. They came to the Eastern Cape because Amangwane were fighting with Amazulu. Or let me say, Umatiwane was having issues with Ushaka. Amangwane running away. They disturb Amashrubi and disturb Amazizi. And it's a ripple effect. Some groups are dispersed to Lesotho. Some groups are dispersed to Free State. Some are dispersed to the Eastern Cape majority. This is where you get Amatolo. This is where you get Amatolo. They come from KZN. When they arrived in the Eastern Cape, they removed anything that connected them to KZN. They became people of the Eastern Cape. That is why even to this day, they are people of the Eastern Cape. They are people of the Eastern Cape. Now, yes, they are udlangamandla, but they are not unkosi. Remember now, kukunkosi udlangamandla umntungwa usiwela ngabantungwa abo. Then ube kudlangamandla apparently this Dlangamandla is a twin or a brother to the second Dlamini, the young Dlamini. That is to say, from the 1700s. Apparently. So this Dlangamandla was actually from the Dlamini family. I'm not sure about that because I've become careful now of labeling everyone as being Zizi. I've become careful of that. So I'm not even going to entertain it any further. However, I know Amatolo are definitely Abambo. Even the language, they Tekela. In fact, the name Tolo, it's a Tekela word. In Isintungwa, it's Izolo. In reference to Jew. Umbete, you know Jew, when you wake up in the morning, a plant will have that water there. Or on the grass, there's going to be that water. It's called Amazolo. Amazolo. So in Itegela, it's Amatolo. So they're absolutely Abambo. And yes, they are said to be from the Dlamini family straight. But I'm not going to take it any further. Someone was asking about Amanci. No, guys, Amanci, they are Amazocho. Amanci, Gamazocho. Amansikwe, Gamazocho. Amanzimakwe, Gamazocho. Amambotho, Gamazocho. Amachwawu, Gamazocho. Odeyi, Gamazocho. Izilangwe, Gamazocho. Amakhwechube, Gamazocho. That is Amazocho. So you must not be confused. Where will you find Amazocho? Majority amongst Amampondo. Some of them you will find amongst Amampondo himself and in KZN. The word Tolo means yesterday, but it also means Jew, Amazolo. The word you will find in Tekela dialects. That is to say, isiZizi, isiHlubi, isiphuthi, isilala, isizansi, including a lot of the Tsonga, Shihlanganu, Shinkuna words will be very similar. Guys, you need to go to my YouTube channel and watch my videos so that you don't ask the same thing every live that we are having. Otherwise, after 5 years, you will still be asking the same questions. People are taking your own birthright. They are calling themselves king and emperors. People are calling themselves kings and emperors. You, my people, are unable to move from a very basal elementary level of understanding the relations between South African people. You must understand South African people are the same. They are related fundamentally. Abambo, Amalala, Amadebe, all these things are all the same thing, man. They are all the same. They are also related to Tsonga, Vatswa, Vatsonga, Varonga, Bahlanganu, Wankuna, who further then are related to the other groups, Vambai, Wakalanga. You must go to YouTube and actually watch the videos because you will end up asking the exact same thing every live and you're not going to move forward. I promise you, you are not going to move forward. I was just watching now with this G20 thing. Do you know who the kings of the Khoisan are? Hey, it's so sad. It's so sad. I saw a Tram king there. A Tram king who's taller than Ramaphosa. Do you know how short Tram people are? Do you understand how short and tiny they are? That Tram king is big and fat. I'm like, oh. The Sukwini people are busy here on TikTok asking, what is the Sukwini? I told you the Sukwini are Tram. I told you. You can't be asking that every damn live. You must know that Sukwini are Tram. Your problem is that you don't believe it because you think you're from Congo. Then pack your bags and go to Congo. Stop making noise about Congo here. Tina, we're not from Congo. If you're from Congo, move. I see. Kubula, Yacha. Kubula. Ziyatsha. Now we're no longer gonna. Now I don't wanna convince you that you're not from Kenya or you're not from Congo. If really you are from there, then you are from there. There's nothing I can do about it. One thing I've realized is that maybe some of the black people in South Africa are not from here. Maybe we welcomed you guys. That's why you are so sure that you're from Congo. It's fine. We gave you land and the space to become South African. If you miss Congo, take your bags and go to Congo. We're going to accompany you, actually. Leave us to the affairs of our ancestral land. I'm tired of telling you that, oh no, South Africans are not from Congo. If you think you're from Congo, if you think you are from Congo, then you are from there. There's nothing I can... Your blood is telling you that you're from there. Then maybe you are. And that's fine. African brother, yay, my brother. You must go now. We are cleaning the country. You must go. Don't waste our time here. I'm not going to be here talking about Congo and Tanzania. I'm talking about this land. So, please, be careful with what you ask me next. Someone was asking about Amanyele. Amanyele ngabathembu. Ngonyele, ngonono, onono kadoyi. Is that the correct one that you are asking me? Ombathana. Onuse, ogqubana. Ombokotwe. You find them amongst abathembu. You find them amongst abathembu. They are Thembu. And then someone was asking me about Omachaya. Omachaya ngamaXesibe. Oh, my daughter. Oh, Kandanyawana. Yay! Yes. You know, Dylan. You don't know how many times the government has been reaching out to me. The problem with government is that they don't want to pay. Maybe some of them are watching right now. They don't want to pay. They must pay. And now I'm not going to travel to Gauteng to talk. I don't want to talk. Put the budget, Baba. Say, Sandile, here's a budget, 300,000 rand. Here's a budget, 300,000 rand. Help us. Help us restore what has been lost. I already have the networks. I will link them to someone who's in Free State, who's going to link them to people in Platfontein and the Kalahari. I will link them to people in the Drakensberg. I will link them to people in the Khamdoboa area. I'm talking about people who are still living the lifestyle. If they want to know who's Kham and who's not, I can take them there. But I don't have time to be going around in circles. Oh, Sandile, let's engage, heritage. Yeah, Murman. I don't have time for bloody nonsense. Either you talk to me, you come with a budget, or you don't talk to me. Since it's been more than a year at this point, they are calling me left, right, and center every time. We're from the name change council, or we're changing the name of the town. Please give us the history. I'm not going to do it. I'm not selling information here. I'm not donating information. If you want to change names of places, go find out what they were called before. But one thing you must not do is to remove our ancestral names and put politicians' names. You remove our ancestral names and you put politicians' names, you are killing our heritage. You can't trust the government with these things. That's why they shouldn't be the ones doing these things. But unfortunately, they're collecting our taxes. They are collecting our taxes, so they have to pay for us to even offer this information. They have to pay, unfortunately. Anyway, sorry guys, if you asked something, I didn't even see it. Okay, I'm reading some questions here. But I just want to say this, guys, that you guys need to focus, man. You need to focus, Black South Africans. You are so disoriented that people are using you guys for engagement. People from the Caribbean, people from America, people from the rest of Africa are using you guys for engagement. Some of them are getting paid for having you guys engaged. So they will come here and say, If you are Zulu, you're not African. If you are Xhosa, you're not African. They're literally rage baiting you, and you guys bite every damn time to go around arguing with these fools. Some of these people are uneducated, man. I'm not saying they didn't go to school. I'm saying they're uneducated. They're uncouth and uncultured. Disrespectful. They don't have decorum. They don't know how to respect others. They're swearing at you in these lives. And people are sharing these lives with me. What am I going to do with these stupid lives? What am I going to do listening to people bottom of the barrel characters? I don't want to talk to these people. If they want to engage, they can come right now. The floor is open. Anyone who wants to engage, come. I'm ready for you. They never do. But they are watching. After here, they're going to start a live to confuse the hell out of black South Africans. And black South Africans will be there. Yeah, we are playing. Yeah. Don't engage. Do not engage. What you need is to organize. You need action. You need to organize. You see, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. There's something called AstroTurf lobbying. AstroTurf lobbying. It's a tactic that's used to simulate a grassroots movement. Né? People who actually get funds channeled to them come and act as if they are running some movement on the ground, but they're just doing what they are paid to do. It's AstroTurf lobbying. I can think of a couple of organizations that have been doing things like this. They're just fronts, but they're very organized. I can think of the Brandhurst Foundation, which just it was closed down this year. The Brandhurst Foundation was probably the most forefront AstroTurf lobbying group in South Africa, where all your favorite politicians, including Bobby Wine from Uganda, Kgalema Motlanthe, all your favorite ANC, DA, EFF, maybe not EFF, the other ones, they all go there and do some campaigns. The purpose of existence of that group was to just do the bidding of the Oppenheimers. Same thing with these black people are from Congo, black people are from First Nation, Aboriginal. These are lobbying. These are lobbyists who are given money to push a certain simulation. It's called AstroTurf's lobbying. Do not be caught in the wind. Do not be caught in the wind. Same thing now, just before the G20, there were many movements popping up. Some justifiably so, others hijacking things that already exist. There's one called Greenpeace Africa. You can go check it out. Greenpeace Africa. It has absolutely nothing to do with the problems of black people. It's this group that purports itself as caring about the environment and climate. They'll never tell you who founded the group. They'll never tell you who's channeling the money through to the group. But they're there as a front. It's just a front. They're doing lobbying for international organizations. And many of the NGOs in South Africa are actually part of that. All these activist, cultural activist groups, they're literally part of these AstroTurf lobby groups. That's what they are. It's international companies who are manipulating or simulating certain grassroots movement to just divert your attention. Did you know that right now in the Eastern Cape, there's a massive movement, there's a massive corporate struggle to, what is this? For certain companies to explore the oceans because there's oil and gas, massive amounts of oil and gas in the Eastern Cape. So they are facing problems in the Wild Coast. Tell you what, both the company that wants to explore and the company that is blocking that exploration, both of them are international. Both are international. They are not local interests. So what I'm trying to say to you is that certain things that you see popping up everywhere, you shouldn't pay attention to them because you have no clue who's behind it. Same thing extends to this thing of Congo. Tomorrow it's Sudan, the next day is Tanzania. If you guys listen to these people, you are from everywhere then. You are from everywhere. Today you are from Congo, tomorrow you're from Tanzania, the next day you're from Uganda, after that you're from West Africa, then some now are from Yemen now. Some now are from Yemen, some are from China now. Anything but South Africa. So for me, I understand it's just, an intelligence movement. It's an intelligence program. It's a program that is funded. That one I don't have a doubt of. I have no doubt because I know people are following my account. I know people, I get, maybe I should not talk too much. Sometimes I will get an email from someone I don't even know, directing me to certain places online, which tell me they are watching. So it's just sad that South Africans every time fall for it. Now, let me ask you guys. Since many South Africans think this generation is better than our ancestors, do you think our ancestors needed someone from overseas to tell them who they are? Do you genuinely think our ancestors needed to be told who they are by people from overseas? I know they didn't. I know they didn't need to be told. So it just amazes me that I think you guys need to think, maybe not, when I say you guys, I just mean everyone, I think people need to start thinking now beyond what you see in front of your eyes. Think about the stuff you don't see, there's a thing about magic tricks. There's a thing that you must not look at the hand that's doing the trick. It's usually the hand that's not doing anything. It's usually the hand that's hidden, that's actually doing the real trick. So what you see in front of you is not the actual trick. The real trick is the one you're not supposed to see. So these things that are, the noise that you hear is not what's happening. Why don't we just break away from South Africa? Thank you for that. I'm going to answer it. Sometimes people say, oh, South Africa was better during apartheid. South Africa was better during apartheid. There was service delivery. There were amenities. I laugh when they say that because it shows how grandeur their level of delusion is. Just how advanced their level of delusion is. First and foremost, black people were not citizens during apartheid. So during apartheid, you were not even a South African. Black people became South Africans in 1994. So that is the first reality you need to make peace with. Black people in South Africa were not citizens during apartheid. You did not belong to South Africa. You were migrant workers. Secondly, you were not human. You were 3/5 human, 60% hominin. So you were categorized in the same level as Homo neanderthalensis, Homo naledi, Homo erectus, Homo denisovan. You were just another hominin species. So you did not even belong to South Africa. So to say things worked, you were not part of the things. What things worked when you were not even part of them? So stop deluding yourself and everybody else by lying that, oh no, you didn't even vote because you are not a citizen and you are not human. You didn't have a right to vote. You didn't have a voice. So there were no things that were better. For white people, though, it was heaven on earth. Oh, goodness. You know, I saw this other documentary about Spur, the restaurant, whatever that place is. Spur, man, the place that's owned by the Jewish family. Spur, Mag and Bean, you know, it's owned by the same family, most uncle and nephew, Jewish family. I was just looking at one of their documentaries, looking back where they come from. White people were living in heaven, and they still are. Hey, they were living in heaven, those people. Like, I understand why they reminisce so much about apartheid. I understand why they miss it, man. I get it. You know, the level of comfort they achieved without having to do much. They didn't have to work. You were there as migrant workers in your own land, by the way. You were there as migrant workers. They didn't have to work. They didn't need skills. They didn't need to prove themselves too much. And I'm looking at the videos in the 70s and 80s in Joburg. In restaurants, it's packed, Baba. It's packed. And they're chowing money, these people. They were living life. I mean, look. Off the backs of my father, who was digging for platinum in Rustenburg. My father had to leave my mother. In 1976, when they got married, he had to leave. My mother had to stay only a week with my dad. And he had to leave and go to Rustenburg to go dig for platinum. So that Rupert and Herzog's father and the Zille family could be rich. And then he had to move to Joburg to dig for more gold. And then to Cape Town to build Fishhoek, Wynberg, and Constantia, and Sea Point, building all these places. He built those things with his hands. My grandfather built the bloody N2 with his hands. He says they had to be taken to the deep like cows. They had to be taken to the deep like cows. My grandfather, my mother's father. Oh! Because they were seen as being infested with disease. At the time of the bubonic plague, ububane, do you know who was blamed for the plague? It was my grandfather's generation. Yeah, they were taken to the deep. So, now remember in Cape Town, black people, because they've always been here, they were in places like Sea Point, Constantia, Bishop's Court, all these fancy places. They were in Hout Bay, they were including coloureds as well. Some are still there. They were in places like, what is this place now in the peninsula? I forget. But like Fishhoek, basically, they were in those places. So now, when the bubonic plague happened, it was said that the natives are going to infect the Europeans. The natives are going to infect the Europeans, and they call it Upuban. So they had to be dipped. They had to be taken to the dip, like cows, literally move through to the dip, and before they could be taken to the concentration camp. So they were moved from Sea Point, from Camps Bay, Constantia, along the R27, Milnerton area, places like Endemere, Windermere, Maitland. They were moved from those places to a farm known as Uitvlucht. Uitvlucht is at the border of the southern suburbs in Cape Town, just next to what is now today Pinelands. Uitvlucht was a concentration camp there for black South Africans. Before they could stay in that camp, they had to be dipped like cows with dips. Some of the dip brands that I can remember were McDougall's dip for cows. This is where I have this word, Umadukula, by the way. Umadukula, it's a European surname, McDougall's. So they were dipped and then taken to Uitvlucht. Uitvlucht, they literally had tents, like refugee tents. And then they were moved from Uitvlucht to Kwandabeng. Yes, absolutely. Then from Kwandabeni, they were pushed to Kwalanga Balele, Kwalanga, the Langa township, the oldest township in Cape Town. And then from Kwalanga, it is a concentration camp. A township is absolutely a concentration camp. The ghetto is a concentration area. It's a place to concentrate unwanted populations. Then from Kwalanga, they were pushed to Nyanga. Now Nyanga was Nyanga West and Nyanga East. Nyanga West is what people call Guguletu. Nyanga East is what people call Nyanga today. Then from there came Crossroads, New Crossroads, Lower Crossroads. And then came Khayelitsha. And then came Khayelitsha, the new home. Khayelitsha is like a very young township, although it is big. Anyway, my point is that you were not treated as human. The same thing goes to KZN. The same thing goes to Eastern Cape. The same thing goes to Gauteng. You will hear people like Ike Khumalo. I'm not even sure if he's South African, by the way. Maybe he should have a look at that as well. But anyway, that's not my point. That's not my point. Even in Gauteng, it's the same. That one, nah. The first time I saw him, I was like, hey, this guy is Nigerian, man. And in Gauteng, there's a lot of people from Malawi, Zambia, and Mozambique who have naturalized. That one we know because they were also working in the mines. This is where you get the song, Shosholoza. You know, the song was The Train. It was the train that took people from Rhodesia. Now, Rhodesia is not just Zimbabwe, guys. Rhodesia is Zambia as well. You understand? In fact, I think Rhodes wanted the whole of South Africa all the way to Egypt to be Rhodesia. I think the whole of this, all the way to Egypt, Africa was going to be Rhodesia, basically. Because even UCT, the land that UCT is built upon, was donated by Rhodes. I'm not sure where that bloody rapist got land from. Last time I checked, he was an English invader who invaded Britain in the first place from Germany. They're from Germany. They invaded Britain, wiped out the indigenous population. Then they came and invaded here. Somehow, he donated land to UCT. So if UCT is a university that honors Rhodes a lot. That's why there was Rhodes Must Fall before Fees Must Fall. They removed one of his statues there. Because he's a rapist. We cannot have rapists hanging around normal people. Rapists are animals. We cannot treat them like normal people. So that song, Shosholoza, Stimeles Pume Rhodesia, it used to bring immigrants. So there are immigrants who naturalized for like 3 generations now. That's not the point. Maybe Ike is one of them. I suspect, you know. I even know individually. I know a guy who's a Moyo, but he's fully Tswana from South Africa. I know a guy who's a Sibanda, fully Tswana from South Africa as well. So these ones have been here for the Piris and the Bandas as well. So that's a completely different topic altogether. Anyway, my point is that the South Africans who claim, many in Gauteng, a lot of them in Gauteng, yes. So when they say they don't have a home, they don't have villages, sometimes you must understand it's true. There's 2 layers to it. When they say Asna Makaya, it's true. Some really don't because they're from Zambia and Zimbabwe and Mozambique. But also the problem of Amakaya, I've always had an issue with it. People were pushed out from lands. But this one is more like an issue with us, indigenous people. We must understand how layered it is. Yabo. People were pushed out of lands. 2 concentration camps known as homelands. Yes, that's what I'm saying. You get it. So there's also that element now. And for me, to see South Africans claiming they come from outside of the country, it's the perfect status quo for a colonizer. Because this is how black people feel in Cape Town. Even colored people for that matter. They don't want to go to nice places. They never go to nice places in Cape Town. You go to all the nice places in Cape Town, the colors and the blacks are not there. They don't want to be there. At 4 p.m., you see them running to the taxi rank. They'd rather be in Rands. They'd rather be in Mitchell's Plain. They've been conditioned, generationally. That's what happens then when you are alienated from your land. And this is exactly what South Africans are starting to experience now. Black South Africans, they don't want to be in their land. They want to be somewhere else. Somehow, every day, there's someone who's hosting a live. We are from Congo, guys. Every bloody day. Come on. We heard you the first time, nigga. Shut up. Shut up. We heard you. You're from Congo. Now shut up. Let us breathe, man. Kaume schama. Nah, it's a movie. It's a line from a movie, guys. It's the river, the queen, something, those things. Thank you guys for the gifts. Thank you for the gifts. I forget sometimes that there's gifts here. Please keep them coming. You see, Titiba is saying, this is what I'm saying. The information has been updated. Now we are from Uganda. You are born again. Do you see? Tomorrow we'll be from Sudan. I'm telling you, every day we are from different places. Every day we are from different places. Someone just sees a word that has Z and L. Zalulu. Zalulu. In Kenya, Zulu people are from there. Zulu people are from there. There's a person, me. Look up Wenella. Most SA mixed with Africans. Drom ALK. OVEE. Southern Africa. I don't understand that sentence, unfortunately. Emmy, please rewrite the sentence so that I can respond to you if you'd like for me to. All I'm saying is, guys, every day there's a new origin. Today it's Uganda, tomorrow it's Congo, the next day. And there's King Bungane the third. Hey, he's busy telling Shubi people, Amashlubi, that they are Shubi. He's telling Amashlubi that they are Shubi. Tina, what we know is that Amashlubi got the name Shubi recently. They were Amangelengele before. But he says, no, they were Shubi in Congo, which means they've always been Shubi. Mara Amashubi tell us, Tina, that, no, you guys, Amangelengele, Tina, see Pembe. We got the name Shubi from Labo Shubi. Like now, in the time of Tim Cool. If Ninama Shubi, Ninama Shubi, Hak. Yay man, Yelemut Khan. Amashubi Amangelengele. Amangelengele Amashubi. And he has the Amashubi Ngogo as a and you know those Shubi people in Congo, ne? You know those Shubi people. They still have their language, those people. And it's not Isihlubi. It's not even similar to Isihlubi. Thank you, God. Thank you. It's called, this is called Isidanga. This is called Isidanga. This is Amaso Omlambo. I don't know this Shubi thing. And then there's a King Bungane. The last time I checked, the king was Ulang Albalele, was Tatu. Hey! So let's go back to look up Wenella. Most SA people are mixed with people from all over Southern Africa. I think, Mine, when it comes to that mixture and all that, I think I know more than the average person. I don't think there are many people who could teach me on that subject. I genuinely do not think. I think I've addressed that maybe more than 20 hours worth of videos on YouTube. However, the people who are obsessed with the rest of Africa instead of their home don't give a damn what you're talking about. They just want to highlight that every video that I make, every live. There's people, we are from Congo. So what? Do you believe it? Do you believe that you are from Congo, or do you want me to believe that you are from Congo? If you believe it, you don't have to convince me. Now I know who I am. I know my ancestors are from the Drakensberg. I know. There's evidence on the walls in the Drakensberg. There's clans that I'm related to in the Drakensberg. I know some of my people are in the Free State. I know many are in southern Lesotho. Some are even serving in the royal family of Lesotho. I know that. Some are serving in the royal family of Abatembu. These are my people. I know it. So don't convince me about your Congo. If you're from the Great Lakes region, go back to the Great Lakes region. Stop telling me about it. Nah, this game. Don't get me involved. That's all I'm saying, guys. That's all I'm saying. We are not talking about that now. We're talking about the indigenous people of this land. So those people who are claiming that it was better under apartheid need to remember that you were not even considered human enough to be a citizen. During apartheid time, you were not considered human enough as an indigenous South African. You were not considered human enough to even be given citizenship, let alone the voting right. The first member of parliament was a man from the Eastern Cape. Even he, the only way you could get into parliament was to become a Christian, and at least the British could, like, okay, you're a Christian. Yeah, good slave. You can come and you are rich, Mos. So when they say things were better under apartheid, they don't know what they're talking about. They don't know what they're talking about. They are only just regurgitating the same nonsense that DA voters and Freehand Front voters are saying. And this is the thing about black people. Black people are not confident. Black people look down on themselves. Black people have very, very long-suffering cognitive dissonance. Black people love to be approved and validated by anyone else. They love it. They love it. They love to be validated by the Chinese. They love to be validated by the Turkics. They love to be validated by the Balkan. They love to be validated by the Germanics. They want to be validated by Arabs. They want to be validated by Indians. They want to be validated by everyone except themselves. If white people start changing their opinions on the ANC, Khanya. If white people right now in South Africa, the racists that we're living with, the descendants of the invaders, if they start to change their opinion of the ANC and they start making videos, oh, the ANC is so good, I love the ANC, guys. I promise you, within the next 3 months, every black person in the comment section will be like, oh, wow, the ANC, guys, oh, wow. Basically, monkey see, monkey do. That's it. It's the typical case, the quintessential case of monkey see, monkey do. That's it. That's the truth, guys. Black people will copy anything that everyone else is doing except do their own thing. That's it. Upeter Grill ebe yintoni kwindaba zabantu abantsundu? One thing black people don't need to be told, though, is to fight each other. They want to be guided with everything else. They accept one thing. The one thing black people will do organically and non-stop is fighting each other. Hey, they will find every reason to murder each other on the comment section, to fight each other everywhere except sitting down and actually facing the fact that there is absolutely nothing that came from outside. Nothing. No religion, no concepts, no theories, no systems that came from outside that came to do anything other than foster and perpetuate your dominion by the group from which those things must have come. Every system, the education system, the technology, the religion, the governance system, the legal system, every single thing that came from outside of us was introduced for one reason, and one reason only: to facilitate, to streamline, to perpetuate their dominion over us, and nothing else. Oh no, let's pray for Israel. Bless Israel. I know, I'm Palestine. Hey, people of Palestine, our freedom is incomplete. Oh no, Israel. I'm Russia. I'm a communist. No, we are Marxist-Leninist, Tina. We are Marxist. You're like little monkeys in a cage, just shouting noises they heard. You know monkeys. He doesn't even know what he's talking about. He's just shouting. I'm a Marxist. I'm a Marxist. Why? Why? Oh no, I'm a Leninist. I'm a capitalist, guys. I'm a black capitalist. Black capitalist. Hey! Yeah, no. I understand no dange when you say, why don't you just separate from South Africa? I'm going to answer your question. Exactly. Utu, you capitalist. You are literally a means of production. You are an asset in their books. And the older you grow, you are depreciating, Baba. Huh? You have a time span. You have a lifetime. You are an asset. You are the capital. Capitalist, you must say. I know we are Marxist-Leninist. You know, we are Karl Marx, iJuda. iJuda langapha eGermany. Ungenaphi mina kwizinto zamaJuda? Ungenaphi kwizinto zamaJuda? Marxism, communism, Leninism, socialism, zonke. It's all the same. Powerful and powerless. That's all that matters in this world, guys. There's people with power and there's people with no power. That's the truth. That is the truth. No, I'm the school of thought, from the political school. Look at Floyd. Rob Herzog is laughing. Rob Herzog is just looking at them and laughing. Hey, these monkeys. Just calling a few good house Negroes. Like, who's this? Prince Marshall. Come, speak bad about the ANC quickly. Just to achieve a means, it's a means to an end. Call another black, a clever black Muslim man, come speak bad about the ANC. Another one. When they criticize the ANC, they don't mean the ANC, ne? You do know that. Because they don't give a damn about the ANC. They created the ANC. They fund the ANC. And the ANC secures their well-being. When they speak about the ANC, they are speaking about you. These people are eating because of the ANC. The ANC has produced more rich white people. The ANC has made them richer than they ever could be. Do you know what the market value of what is this media company now? The biggest company in South Africa. Remind me, guys. No. The other one. The one by the Afrikaners. The one that owns Mnet. Naspers. They are in the trillions now. The ANC made it possible for them. It's Naspers. And then they own the other ones, the other little, puppets. So you think they're criticizing BEE? No, they're not criticizing BEE because they eat from BEE. You think it's black people's companies that are making the roads? Now Elon Musk, he's working with Vodacom. Vodacom itself, originally, it was not even a South African company. It's from Britain. When they talk about 30% pass rate, when they talk about BEE, when they talk about ANC and corruption, what they're saying, you, baboon, you, Bobo-chan. And they have good puppets, by the way. They have good puppets, eh? They've got a few blacks that love it when these people shove the hot iron up the asshole. They love it. They get a hard on when whites call them monkeys. Oh, please call me again, master. I'm the good one. You are weak and you are fragmented. You are a broken thing. And you need to completely deconstruct your very understanding of reality and start from scratch. So when they say apartheid was a, you know, it was a good system because there were services. Ike Kumalo doesn't know what he's talking about. Unfortunately, he doesn't. He can be a loudmouth, but he doesn't. No, man, Vodacom is not South African. It was not South African. It's South African now, but Vodacom was founded by Vodafone from the UK. Aibo. You think this company just fell from thin air? Javas. It's from the UK, that thing, from Vodafone. Just like, what is this one? The one that came from Barclays. No, Vodacom was originally English. It's from the UK, from Vodafone. You think I'm blowing hot air here? Where are you, Javas? Come in the comments. Come, do the walk of shame. Absa, yes, it's originally Barclays from the UK as well. Netbank is from the Netherlands as well. What the hell are you talking about here? You think you know more than I do about these things? Do you even know that I started in banking before I started anything else, and I went into business management? Spa, even the word spa, actually, the word spa, it's a Dutch word. It means save, like to spare in English. Oh, spare me some, spare, like to save, spar. It's a Dutch company. These companies are failing there in Europe and America. They are coming here now. Spar is literally pivoting to South Africa. Just like this company from Messmart or Walmart. Walmart, Messmart was always here through Macro and Game. But now they are bringing Walmart straight in. They were already here through Macro and Game. It's Messmart, yes. So when you're saying, oh no, South Africa was good under apartheid, you were not there. You did not exist in South Africa. You occupied a space of absolute irrelevance. Absolute irrelevance. Absolute irrelevance. And you need to understand that you were not considered when they talk about budgeting. When they were making the roads, they were not thinking about you. When they were putting electricity, they were not thinking about you. When they were making, creating plumbing systems, when they built the infrastructure, everything was not for you. It was for the few whites in this country. If you see roads that are going to rural areas, those roads are there to just take resources, nothing else. Even schools. Let me educate you on how schools be developed in South Africa. Let me teach you. First and foremost, when the Dutch in East India Company, the VOC, the Verenigde Oost-Indische Compagnie, when they came here and established themselves in the 17th century, they mostly had men, a few women, but mostly men. There weren't that many children. They were not concerned with schools. They were concerned with building and labor. Therefore, they needed slaves. And they brought slaves. Many of those slaves from West Africa. 1658, a slave ship from Angola landed. Many of those slaves are white today. After that, slaves from Southeast Asia, Vietnam, Indonesia, Sri Lanka, India, and Madagascar, the slaves came. Many of them are white and colored today in Cape Malay. So, listen here. How European schools began in the country came through. They were private schools originally. All schools were private schools. And they were run by churches. The Presbyterian Church, which in South Africa, in Eastern Cape, was called Khwe. Khwe. Why was it called Khwe? Because it was going to the Khwe people. That's why they still call it Khwe today. The Presbyterian Church. The Wesleyan Church, Ewesile, which is the Methodist Church. You have the Catholic Church and all that. When these missionaries came, they were not targeting you and I. They were targeting royal families. Schools were for royal families because there was a deep belief that because the indigenous people believe in their kings so much, in some instances, white people saw us as though we saw the kings as gods. They thought of us as though we saw the kings as gods. So they understood that what they have to do is just get the kings to be whited out. They decided the kings just needed to be whited out. Xhosa, Khwe, Galeka, Khakhabe, Thembu, Mpondomise, Mpondo, Esibe, Kwathi, Zulu, Abambo, Abasembo, Ndebele, Venda. They did not care, Baba. You either go to their schools, become westernized, become Christianized, and become human, or at least partly human in a way, or they take you out. So the princes who allowed that to happen went on to study. The princes who did not allow it to happen, or the kings who did not allow it to happen, were taken out. We know about King Hintsa KwaXhosa. In fact, when I was growing up, there were these sweets, these little sweets that were soft. They were in the shape of a head. Where I'm from, we call them Inhloko kaHintsa, Hintsa's head. In fact, our parents, you know, as a child, when you're always crying, you just want attention. The parent will be like, "Hi, ufuna inhloko kaHintsa mntanam andinayo." Why? Because Hintsa's head was by the Southey brothers together with Harry Smith and a few other colonizers. They took the head and then they moved to Cape Town, to a place today known as Plumstead, just next to Wynberg. There's a street there known as Southfield. That's where the Southey brothers bought a piece of land. They bought land there and that became their house in Plumstead, Cape Town, next to Wynberg in the southern suburbs. This is not stuff from 200 years ago. This is real stuff. You can go to Plumstead, you can go to Southfield, and you can see the house of the Southey brothers who shot Hintsa from the mouth, bam, took his teeth, took the ears, took the eyes, took the skull. It was a culture in those days for them to do that. Yeah, Harry Smith was there. There's a place that's named after him. Yeah, Harry Smith was one of the. He did a lot of bombing in the Eastern Cape, explosives. He committed genocide against the Xhosa. Harry Smith. They called him Sakwiti. Sakwiti is what we call Ischinchan, whirlwind, cyclone. They call him that because he had a short temper and he bombed anything that came on his way. They used to take penises and bums and breasts, cut them off, hang them as souvenirs of war and as spoils and booty. They used to do it. Uqetshwayo went to the queen because that's the only way he could survive. Otherwise, he was going to be taken out himself. Uqetshwayo lo. All the kings who survived, guys, they all sold out. That is the truth. If there's anyone who's in the chair of being a king today in South Africa, I promise you, they sold out. All of them. There's not even one who didn't sell out. They sold out one way or another. Either they sold out by voluntarily accepting to take orders from whites, or they just like, hey guys, for survival. And many of them had to be baptized and become Christians. They had to. They had to. The name of Sarah Patman is Seura. Usiula. That's her name. She was sold by Europeans working with West African slaves. West Africans and Europeans sold her to Europe. They used to cut the bums. Do you understand what I'm saying? Impundu, insula. They would cut it and slice it, separate it amongst themselves, the soldiers. Cut the breasts of women, cut the penises, take the teeth out and the ears. Take, and then separate. Like, you're gonna get this one. Why? Because they saw wild animals in us. So when you are busy saying, oh, apartheid was so good, eh? You were a wild beast. It was good. You were literally a wild beast in apartheid. Today you are human. You can even have an opinion. And somehow you remember how apartheid was good. Idiot. Ilifa lezithutha lawudlonga abahlakaniphileyo. Ilifa lezithutha lezidenge lezibhanqa. Labantu abanqwakunqwako abantemtem lawudliwa ngabahlakaniphileyo. Earlier today, I heard a guy say, you know, Europeans conquered you. They are superior to you. He's a black man. The Europeans, they conquered you. They are superior. They civilized you. They came with technology. You don't understand. You don't understand. Anything you say doesn't matter to Europeans to this day. They don't give a damn what you think. You are an animal to them. Guys, when you're walking and you hear birds like making noise, especially you westernized black people. You westernized black people. When you hear a bird making noise, does it even bother you what the bird is saying? No. Because the bird ranks so low in your psyche, especially the colonized psyche. Because in my psyche, I know that a bird, it makes different sounds and cries and vocalizations when it communicates certain things. And that's the thing. That's the thing. When you free yourself from the socialization and orientation of westernization, white supremacy, all of a sudden things start to make sense. Animals regain their value. Birds have an importance to you as an indigenous person. The soil, the rivers, you respect them at that sacred level that you should respect them because you are part of them. To Europeans, you are absolutely irrelevant. Now, they talk about black people simply because you are an inconvenience to them. I saw a trend. Ne? There was a trend that goes, I'm a visual student or something like that. I'm a visual person. What is a beautiful South African woman? Something like that. I don't remember, guys. Ne? And then someone made that trend and only put white faces there. And that's what people mean when they talk about South Africa. Even overseas, they mean white people. They don't mean you. You don't exist. Awukho. Awukho nahali. And black South African women, I like lobster and you know, what is that? Pasta and lobster. Oh, I like pasta and lobster. And there's no white guys in the comments answering her. And they're probably so angry at that moment. Yeah, futa cover. Hey, they're probably so angry while you are busy liking pasta and lobster. It pisses them off. What is this monkey saying? You like pasta and lobster? No, go eat putu there. They'll probably say that. Go eat putu there. I love sushi. In Japan, they are protesting, but they don't want Africans. You know, the Japanese prime minister who resigned. He had to resign because he was saying he's going to open space for black people to come to Japan and work as immigrants. Because the population is dying out in Japan. They're no longer mating now, the girls and the boys, because the boys are such perpetrators. They're predators, actually. The men in Japan are predators. They're lonely, basement type of boys. You know, the incel, the involuntary celibate culture. They're black pillars. There's no population growing. It's old people and the young people don't have a life. So they're going to come and import some foreigners, some from India, some from Africa. The Japanese went crazy. The Japanese would rather see people from the Nordic countries like Norway and Switzerland and Sweden than black people. They're like, oh, no. Same thing in China. You know, in China a few years ago, they had a museum and put black people next to monkeys and baboons. You know, they opened a museum, an art studio, showcasing that black people are like monkeys and baboons. That's China. So you need to stop idealizing anything that is not you. You need to stop idealizing anything that is not you. You need to be your point of reference. You need to be your frame of mind. Your frame of mind must be oriented in such a way that you are the first point of reference in everything. Yeah, Zwarte Piet in the Netherlands. Black Piet, the slave of Father Christmas. you know Zwarte Piet is the slave of Father Christmas. He's the one who carries the bag and takes all the naughty kids. But our people will be busy. Father Christmas, Santa Claus. You know Santa Claus is Sinterklaas, Saint Nicholas, Saint Nicholas, a bishop. And that tradition survived over years. He also had a black slave called the Black Piet, Zwarte Piet, Zwarte Piet. They still do it in the Netherlands in remembrance of the black slave of Sinterklaas called the Black Piet. They do blackface every year. That's the proper Christmas. Not the one you are doing here when you don't even know why you're doing Christmas. Christmas is a winter tradition. You're busy doing Christmas in the height of summer. It's Christmas. Your Father Christmas is wearing winter gowns, but it's hot outside. It's 32 degrees. And your Father Christmas is wearing... Why are you celebrating white people's holidays? What are you doing? Wenzani? Yes! Yo! Hey guys, this thing goes deep, man. It goes deep. I try sometimes, like, I see people, it's like it's the smallest things, man. It's the smallest things. This is the solution I can provide. Ne? Be your primary point of reference in everything. Be your primary point of reference. When you think about science, try and figure out how your people did science. You could not have existed for so long, up to 2025, if your ancestors were some stupid, uncivilized creatures. They would have died out long ago. They would have been eaten by wild beasts. So for them to have survived so long, that means they had methodologies. Methodas in Latin, you know. Be your primary point of reference. What's so difficult about that? I always used to say, black South African women sometimes, they hate black people's hair. They do. And we, the males, we bear the brunt of that, because I've had black South African women telling me, cut your hair. I'm like, why am I cutting my hair? I don't want to. No, cut your bloody hair so that you can look good. So I'm ugly with my hair. I had to have a period of time where I just stopped cutting hair altogether. I had to go to the source of why are we uncomfortable with growing our hair, even as men. Look, I'm not saying everyone must cut their hair or everyone must grow it. That's none of my business. All I'm saying is, why can't you ask yourself why you don't want to wear your hair the way it is? If you can just overcome that reason, then you can come back and put a blonde weave and be a caricature of a good slave. I'm yet to see white people in huge numbers create an entire industry around Afro hair and making that a source of pride. I'm yet to see it. Oh, that was a good trend. It was a nice trend. It was romantic. But there was no real change, because it was only in reaction to being called that your hair is a pot scroller who steal wool hair. And you know what? The weaves, man, they're not good for the women's health, you know. They're not good for the women's health. They're actually really bad. There's a lot of chemicals that they leave in your scalp. Zikuthulele nisheke ninjibaba. They're not good. Now I know some Asians, they do Afro hair, and I won't be shocked if in a few years' time they claim that they are actually the original owners of Afro, because actually the Afro people don't want it anymore. No, weaves will never make sense. Weaves on someone else's hair on your head will never make sense. What you are saying is this hair that is superior than me, I put it on top of my head. The head is the place where ultra advanced faculties reside. This is what controls your very reality. And you are taking someone else's hair, putting it on top of it. We as takata. That's it. We as lawyer. You know, indigenous parents would warn you as a child. Would you go to a barber shop or a salon? People who cut their hair, take that hair and put it on yours. You don't know why it was cut in the first place. And a lot of the people who cut that hair, anyway, they offer it to their gods. They pray and offer it in temples, and then it's sold to us. We as takata, we as lawyer. Ni as lawyer bantu abamnyama. Oh! Your ancestors cannot recognize you. You're actually blocking your very own abilities. Yes? Uzis tutu just sigalam tutu. Uzis tunes. You're not there. And you get white supremacy thrives off of that. So the black people who actually claim apartheid was better are white supremacists. Can black people be racist? A lot of people will say no. Yes, they are. They can be, and they are. They are racist to us, to black people, to blackness. They are racist to themselves. Towards themselves. So this is the solution. Be your primary point of reference in everything. Oh, I want to make a nice hairstyle. Yeah, you can. That's not a problem. I'm not trying to tell you what to do on your head. I'm not telling you what to do on your head. I know you guys. Oh, we have rights. We have rights. We are free. It's the 21st century. 21st century, we are free, we are liberated. Johnny, guys, it's fine. I don't want to deviate. I will talk about too many things. Let's go back now to the question of it was better under apartheid. So, the very reality that under apartheid, black people were not even considered as human, let alone as citizens. Let alone, they didn't even have the ability to vote. In fact, a black person's place was to be a hewer of wood and a fetcher of water in accordance to the same agenda that Israel is doing in Palestine. Same thing. Apartheid, they made it clear what the place of a black person is. A hewer of wood and a fetcher of water. That is to say, you are just here to make our lives easier. Mdomnyama, you are just here to make our lives easier. You're going to go fetch water for us. You're going to make tea for us. You're going to dance for us, create dance challenges. And then 2 white guys are going to learn those dance challenges, practice them, and they'll be dismal at it, but they'll still get gigs to perform at a rugby match and perform somewhere else, and they'll get sponsorship deals. Some of them will even get cars, although they don't even have 500,000 followers. But you blacks, just keep on making the dance styles, okay? Hey, you guys are good at this. You have rhythm, eh? Hey, great rhythm, right? Amazing. That's your place. Dance and sing. Don't criticize. Don't think deeply. Don't start to be philosophical now. Now you are losing your place now. You just be there, 30%, you know. They infantilize you. They want to reduce you into an infant. They don't want you to be threatening. They want you to live in this delusion of romanticism and, oh no guys, it's perfect, the world is perfect. You see, I'm not a soccer fan, but I know there's a guy called N'Golo Kante in Europe. He's an African, N'Golo Kante. Hey, they like him. They like him, but they don't like him because of anything. They like him because he allows them to infantilize him. They literally made him into an infant. You know, that's the whole thing about apartheid. That a black man, a grown-up black man, is the size, intellectually, is the size of a 12-year-old white man, white boy. A grown-up black man is the same intellectually as a 12-year-old white boy. You think that's why we have so many people called boy in the East Cape? There's so many people called boy, last names like boy. I know people whose last names is boy, like a boy. B-O-O-I. Swart boy. Vet boy. Geel boy. Or just boy. Nje. Because there was no man who's not white. The only man who can exist was a white man. Anyone else who's not white is a boy. Vet boy. It's light-skinned black people. There are many black people who are vet boy. I know them. There was a teacher, vet boy, and a principal boy that I know. So because as a black man, you can grow as much as you can. You always be equivalent to a 12-year-old white boy. That's why they call black men boy. Even in the United States during Jim Crow, when they refer to black people, they call them boy. Nazog. Boy! A 60-year-old man. Boy. Why? Because you remain an infant in their eyes. So that's the whole thing with N'Golo Kante. N'Golo Kante has been infantilized. He's an infant. And they like him because he's like that. He can never question anything. He can never have an opinion on anything. He must overly humble himself. He's not allowed to have thoughts of his own. And that is the thing about black people. They don't want to have thoughts of their own. I don't know if it's his character or not. All I'm saying is they like him because he's like that. Whether that's his character or not is out of question. I'm telling you why they like him. They like him because he's like that. If he was not like that, they wouldn't like him. There are many other black soccer players who do actually have character, who do have personality, who have opinions, and they throw bananas at them. Yay! Whip, whip, whip. They make monkey noises. So you think they hate all the other blacks and love this one? No, because you fit perfectly into the white supremacist society. Just behave like a 12-year-old cute child. Be cute to whiteness. Be cute to whiteness, and whiteness will like you. They will elevate you. Just be positive. Romanticize everything. But the moment you start to be smart, they're here in the live. They're here in the live right now. They will never comment because they know that you will regret why you were born. Hey, they're here. They don't want a thinker. They don't want someone who's independent in mind. And that's why they love this system of politics in South Africa, where one black man can't think for themselves. Black people can't have their own original thoughts. The only thing they must do is to fight about Marxism and Leninism and socialism and capitalism. They can't think outside of that. Come on, guys. You really want to tell me that ever since humanity existed, the only way to run a country is to do Marxism and communism? And that's nonsense. That is nonsense. There's a question. Why do you think we are equivalent to a 12-year-old white boy? Convince one. I don't hear your question. I don't hear your question. Maybe you can rephrase, then I can understand it better. You see, that's the thing. The schisms and isms, capitalism, socialism, Leninism, Marxism, they were not for you. You know, at the time when Karl Marx was busy doing his Marxism thing, black people were slaves. You think he was writing Marxism, oh, the slaves are gonna love this one. No, motherfucker, you are a slave, nigga. At that time in the world, they saw you as a brother to the monkey. They saw you as a cousin to the ape. They're not doing it for you. So you create parties and you're busy like taking pride in we are a Marxist-Leninist party. The moment they start to cite those nonsensical frameworks, just know these are white puppets. They will answer to one white billionaire or the other. Whether that white billionaire is a tobacco smuggler, or that white billionaire is a human trafficker, or that white billionaire is a drug trader, doesn't matter. But they will answer to one white billionaire or the other. And all these billionaires are criminals. We know that one. There was this one billionaire who had a plane crash in Stellenbosch, and the plane was full of drugs. Not even one news agency was talking about it for a week. I just have to say it as it is, guys. I'm not fighting with anyone. I'm fighting with stupidity. I'm fighting with nonsense. I'm fighting with mental slavery. You know, the PAC, they had a... They took the idea of upok. They took the idea of upok from an existing group in the Eastern Cape. Agiri PAC, they did this poko thing in the 1960s. They took the idea of poko, which had already existed in the 1800s. Poko simply means absolute. It means absolute. It means absolutely detached. Like in isiXhosa, when something is detached from another one, city ipokile. So poko comes from that. It was a movement of the 1800s. Although it is a religious movement, but it was the good first steps into black consciousness. A movement that says we don't want to be associated with Europeans in any way. That was Upoko. The original Poko. It was a sect of black people who said we don't want to be associated with you guys. We don't want you anywhere in any area. In business, in industry, in arts, in music, in philosophy, in medicine, in pottery, in every single sphere. We want to self-determine. Poko. Amakaba, they were even way above Poko. Amakaba were the proper ones. They were the proper people. Because Poko were religious people. Amakaba did not even accept that nonsense of religion. Because religion, all religion, everywhere, every form of religion is a handmaiden of imperialist agenda. Go to any religion at the highest level. At the highest level of religion, the people who run it don't even believe in it. And I know what I'm talking about. I didn't read it in a book. I know it. First-hand experience. At the highest level of all the religions in the whole universe, they don't believe. They actually believe they are the actual gods. That's the truth about the religious leaders. They believe they are the gods that you guys are worshipping. Do you think the Pope believes in something? Or the Arabs of Islam? They don't believe in that nonsense. The only thing they believe in is that you must listen to them. That's the one thing they believe. That you must listen to them. So, Amakaba were the real deal. Hey, Amakaba have been reduced to stupidity because we don't know what Amakaba were. I read a small excerpt, a debate between a Christian and Iqaba in the early 1900s. Hey, and I was shocked at how that Iqaba was reasoning. Yo, I'm like, hey, this person can think, man. Like the way they question, they have points of references that we can't even imagine, Tina, because we are already born into delusion, Tina. We are born into delusion already. So even if we try to free ourselves, we still hit the wall because sizelelwe kwinyunyu yobuxoki nobuxakavithi bobuqheleku. So you have to go through a process, a scary process of deconstructing your very understanding of reality. It's scary. You will be afraid at night. You won't have sleep. You'll have insomnia and anxiety. Oh no, I'm going to go to hell, guys. I can't fight with Israel. No, don't fight. Just remove any care for it because they don't even think about you when they do what they do. Ah, guys, we are all human. Rainbow Nation. Who said so? You've inherited stupidity. And it's no longer just information. It's genetic at this point. You know your gene pool is influenced by your environmental factors. Think about it. From the 1400s to 2025, the genetics of our ancestors have been influenced by the oppression that they had to endure. We've inherited that both genetically and socially. So you must do a lifelong process of self-healing. You are doing it for your descendants now. You are doing it for your descendants. A lifelong process of self-healing. At the core of this is to understand your true nature without having to reference something outside of yourself. You don't need to reference whiteness. You must try by all means to fight that urge. There's an urge, it's like an inherited urge. It's genetic at this point. There's this gene that you have of white worship. You want to worship whiteness. It's in your genes, it's in your blood, it's boiling. That's why if Peter Krill says something, you guys will share that video. You're gonna make him trend for years. Even when it's like, hi guys, I don't represent black people. Oh no, he represents us. Hey, this one, he's a good Peter Krill for president. No, I don't represent black people. I don't speak for black people. He says with his mouth. No, he speaks for us. This one. And then 3 years later, you realize, he's a Jew, this guy actually. He's an Orthodox Jew for that matter. Remember what I spoke about? AstroTurf lobbying. They call that Jewish boy Uvusi. Uvusa Andoni. Uvusa Bona. Hey, Yima. Bro, they say the spirit of Krizani lives in him. Hey, spirit of Krizani in a Jew. I get. That is it. You need to understand your true nature, your true essence, without having the urge to reference anything outside of yourself. Because this is the problem with black people right now. Black people, they don't know how to stand independently in thought. They can't even conceptualize reality independently. That's why Abelungu, but what did your ancestors build? Black people can't, they can't extrapolate. They can't extrapolate. What did your ancestors build? You built nothing. You monkeys. They can't extrapolate. They keep quiet. They feel shy. You feel shy because what you want is not to be criticized by whites anymore. You want them to pat you in the back. But they don't pat you in the back because they don't even want you to exist. So instead, you just worship them voluntarily. Even when they say, guys, no, I don't represent black people. I don't speak for black people. Peter Krill has been saying it many times. I don't speak for black people. Black people are saying, no, you speak for us, master. You have the spirit of Krizani in you. Which Krizani? Lobambulele. Kunjalo, absent father. That's what I'm telling you. We inherited a diseased body. we have to also be cognizant of that truth. We inherited a diseased body. That's why we are speaking in the English tongue. We are inside the disease right now as I'm talking to you. We are inside the disease. So don't be shocked tomorrow when you find yourself in the middle of a tribal fight. You Xhosas, I hate you. And the other one, I hate you, Zulus. It's fine. That is the nature of our reality. And you have to come to terms with it. I don't want to lie to you and tell you that, oh, after this life, everything will be good. After this life, you will no longer be fighting with Zulus and Xhosas and Tswanas online. You will probably fight because Liwena, you still need freedom. Freedom is coming tomorrow. No, it didn't come, unfortunately. It did not come. So we have to be cognizant of our environment, our holding environment. So this is the reality. This is the reality. One, we inherited disease and it's genetic, which means it was passed down from father to son, from mother to daughter. Two, we have to accept and acknowledge that this is a disease of the mind, this is a disease of the body. There's a part of us that seeks to worship anything that is considered as not us. And you need to acknowledge that truth as well. That's why some black people, if they see a pilot, they're going to get a flight. They see a black pilot, hey, even if they never pray, they will be praying that day. Because blackness in their minds is stupidity. Blackness in their mind is stupidity. So, you need to accept that truth that you are a compromised person. You are a self-eating disease. You eat yourself. You are eating yourself. You are a self-destructing machine. Now, to fix that, you need to pluck out the parasite that is in you. And the parasite is in the mind. It talks to you every day. There's a parasite in you and it kills you through you. You need to come to terms with it. That is why you will want to deflect every time we talk about this topic. You want to talk about everything else except this one. You when you see a black pilot, your heart palpitations, heart rate through the roof. Somehow that pilot maybe just landed there and became a pilot without actually being good. If anything, you should know that a lot of the times, more likely than not, the black pilot was probably the top student in his school. He had to do way more work than the other pilots because he had no capital. There was no social capital, most likely no intellectual capital. I remember when I went to UCT, first year, Bachelor of Business Science, Actuarial Science. During orientation, they asked us, do you know anyone who's an actuary? Have you met anyone? The only actuary I ever met was the one who was interviewing me at Old Mutual for an Old Mutual actuarial bursary. And she probably didn't even like me. She probably didn't even like me, that white woman. That's the only actuary I knew at that time. The other white kids, they were raising their hands. Ah, no, my uncle's an actuary, man. You know how hard it is to become an actuary. You have to do your actuarial studies first, get your credits, and then write your board exams with the Actuarial Society. Write your board exams, which can take up to 7 years. You know, writing them. 8 years, writing them. So, I realized that, damn, I don't even have a basis of what actuaries really do. You know, I just know they work with numbers until you get to learn about risk and all that. So that is a lack of capital. I did not have a basis of social capital, of intellectual capital. And even when studies get hard at university, you don't really have someone. You're studying engineering, maybe. You're studying finance with accounting. You don't have someone to talk to, and then they'll be like, oh no, you can go this route. So you have to overcome those difficulties to even become a professional. To even become a professional, which means you've had to do this alone to be at the same level as people who didn't have to do much because they've had some capital, a foundation. All I'm saying is that perhaps you should trust the black pilot a bit more. Perhaps the black actually knows their stuff a bit more. And then there comes that lack of racial esteem again. There comes that lack of racial esteem again. The very black professionals themselves, hey, Evasit, you go there with the bursary. By the way, my bursary was the Alan Gray Obis Foundation. Really good one. White billionaire Alan Gray. He passed away though now. Really good one. You go there with the bursary. They're telling you must get 70% for statistics and mathematics. If you don't get 70%, you're losing the bursary. The pass mark is 65 to go to the next year for your program. But the pass mark for the university is 50. So already, in order for you to keep this privilege of being here, they told you in accounting, math and statistics, you need 70%. You need 70%. If you don't get it, even though you passed, you're gonna lose that bursary. Do you understand, man, the mental fortitude you need to be able to go through the years having to deal with that? On top of that, you have to submit things on the side. All I'm saying is the black professional you see had to do bloody 10 years worth of work in 3 years. But somehow, because of the racial inferiority complex that we have, those are the professionals we're not gonna like. And they themselves don't like themselves. I'm actually doing a series, guys, where I'm trying to translate everyday words. It's gonna move towards academic words and professional words like jargon, I'm trying to do something about this. So someone may ask, what is the solution? I'm trying to do something. The words for finance, for loan, amortization, interest, rates, rate of change, delta. We need indigenous words for those things so that our people can understand that we already had these concepts. You think the word economy, when it started, it was about money and banking and trade and deficit and surplus? No, it was not about those macroeconomic stuff. It was about taking care of homely costs. So if you go to the indigenous system, the economy was generally, our economists were women. Our economists were women. Because they are the ones who took care of the garden, for example. Yes. We took care of the long-term assets, the cows. So already the idea of economy, when I bring it to that grassroots level, you understand when we dig a pit to put grain in there, when we build an elevated hut to put grain, that is a form of banking. There is someone who does programming as course. I've actually reached out to them and told them if they need help, I can help them translate some of the things. For example, programming itself, the word programming, we shouldn't be using it. If he teaches programming in his course, we shouldn't be using the word programming in and of itself. We should have words for a program, a variable, an object, a method, a function. We need words for things like that. Constant variable. How to declare, a variable. In our indigenous languages, I forgot the name, but I've seen his content. And I've reached out to him and told him, send me a message if you need help. I'm not going to volunteer that information, unfortunately. So my point is, guys, in every aspect of our life, we need to reference ourselves. Like the whites are doing. The whites are referencing Greece. They're referencing Rome. Although the Greek civilization and the Roman civilization took from ancient civilizations that were in Africa and the Middle East, they don't give a damn about that. They're referencing their own because they understand the importance of identifying. They identifying with Greece and with Rome. They use Latin and Arabic, yes, and some Proto-Indo-European words. For example, if you go to the legal practice in South Africa, everything is in Latin, man. Everything is in Latin. The principles are in Latin. Talk about onus probandi. Talk about stare decisis. Talk about ceteris paribus. All these are Latin expressions. We count in Arabic numerals. Absolutely. I know, I did law, guys. I did a bit of law and commercial law, business law, and law of contracts. So I will say these words here and there. And economics as well. Yeah, everything is based on Latin law, which comes from a bunch of laws that were created in the 80s, early 80s, for Theodosian, the Pope, the Emperor, Theodosius. They organized a bunch of laws that were meant to perpetuate the interest of Rome in a scroll known as Codex Theodosianus, the Theodosian Code. That is what we consider law today. A bunch of statutes and practices from Rome. Go and find the Theodosian Code, Codex Theodosius. You will see what I'm talking about. There were laws that were explaining, if you do this against Rome, we'll hang you. If you do this, we'll hit you on the cross. If you do this, these are bloody Roman laws that were used to control people by Rome. Just like Pope Nicholas V in the 1400s wrote to the Portuguese in West Africa and told them to enslave all the natives in perpetuity. We are those natives as well, because they came from West Africa, they came here. Anyone who lives, when another term from Roman law is the term terra nullius. Do you know what terra nullius is? If you don't know what terra nullius is, you need to find out what terra nullius is. It is the concept of empty land, no man's land. And there were many of those in South Africa, according to the whites. They kept on claiming all our lands are empty. Why? Because we're not human. Therefore, it made sense for them to invade our land. So when you talk about land expropriation without compensation, but you still want to have a debate about it, then you are not serious. You are not serious. Because they didn't ask for permission to take land. They said, these are not human, we are taking the land. And that's it. To this day, you have to argue against terra nullius using Roman statute. You can't. Because Roman statute exists for one thing and one thing only, to perpetuate Roman dominion. So we have to go and get to a point where we dissociate. We dissociate with this order, the system that they gave us. I want to repeat one thing. There is no single idea, single thought, single system, single piece of technology, single concept, not a single one that came from outside of us to help us. Every single one of these systems, ideas, thoughts, and concepts came for one thing and one thing only, to perpetuate the mother body's agenda. And I can say it without any fear. Christianity that came with Westerners, Islam, Hinduism, Buddhism, capitalism, Leninism, Marxism, all of them They came with one agenda and one agenda only, to perpetuate their agenda. What is their agenda? Their agenda is to disseminate their systems on you. That is why you cannot be a part of Islam unless you learn the language. So Arabic is an important language, but yours is not. Arabic is an important language, but your bloody language is not. Oh no, guys, you must not speak Xhosa, you must not speak Zulu, we must make so other people can understand. You're not allowed to read, but you can read the Bible and the Quran. All I'm saying is that anything that came from outside came only for one thing, and one thing only: to dominate you. It came for one thing and one thing only: to dominate you. You could go back to the days of the Portuguese, to the days of the Dutch, to the days of, the Boers, to the days of the English. All of them came for one reason, and one reason only: to dominate. Now, when that domination works, what do you get? You get people who are going to come here and romanticize apartheid. Colonize, Christianize, Islamize, Hinduize, Buddhimize, all of it. Everything. Asket, siyadudula. Even the Bantu stands, Mukaranga. You should know that the leaders of the Bantu stands were the perfect puppets. You think they just became leaders out of the blue when everyone else was being killed? The leaders of the Bantu stands were all of them, in Eastern Cape, in KZN, in Limpopo, in Northwest, all of them, they were all puppets. Umatanzima, Uqozo, they would kill you, they wouldn't even think twice about it. It doesn't matter if they built some ugly stadium, Umangope, with a weird looking stadium. I don't give a damn about no bloody stadium. Our ancestral lands. In our ancestral lands, you want to tell me that these leaders thought it was a good idea to serve the South African government? Nobtelezi. Look at the condition that that stadium, guys. Look at the condition of the Zulu kingdom right now. There's a thing I was looking for, I was looking for the name of the system that the Dutch used to take the land. There's a name, I will do it on another live. So guys, the point here is, when all of this is perfected, what do you get? When all the things I'm talking about, the Roman Dutch law, the Islamization, Swart Khafar, Christianization, all these things, what do we get when they are done? We get black people who are the tools of colonization themselves. So colonization's project was not to wipe you out of existence. Colonization's project was to turn you into the very weapon that is meant to destroy you. That is colonization in a perfected state. You should voluntarily colonize yourself for the benefit of the master. The perfect slave understands that they don't need to be physically enslaved. They just need to volunteer it. And that is the completion, the very completion of slavery. Apartheid had one mistake. He had one mistake, this apartheid system. It separated us alone. And that was their downfall, because they allowed us to maintain some part of our indigenous systems. This is why today we are even able to see that, hey, something is not right here. This is why we're able to see that something is not right. Apartheid, unlike British colonization, which sought to integrate us into whiteness, which would have probably destroyed us much quicker. Apartheid was like, no, we don't want to mix with them. So we leave them to their own devices. We manipulate them from outside. So when they separated us, we thrived. Ultimately, we thrived in realizing, man, this thing is killing us. We understand? But even the very fight against apartheid was compromised. Because there's Jews like Joe Slovo from Lithuania and Latvia, Helen Suzman, Helen Joseph, these Jews who joined the fight. And what you get after 1994 is this hybrid system of white worship and black pseudo-freedom, pseudo-liberty. So that was the mistake of apartheid, which I think they probably didn't think through that much when they separated us from them. Whereas the British were much more effective. The British were much more effective in the sense that they did not create reserves. They were like, I'm going to take your kings and make them white people in black skin. That one worked perfectly. That one worked perfectly, and I think the apartheid government was moving towards that with the leaders of the Bantustans now. The leaders of the Bantustans, you know, your Matanzimas, your Gozos, your Sebes, your Mangopes, your Gachas. The apartheid government was moving towards that, like, make these people the white presence in Bantustans. Umangope, Ugozo, and all these other ones who are romanticized now. No, I mean the British perfected it here in South Africa. We haven't had French rulers here. We do have French invaders. They call them the Huguenots, but they were not ruling us. Although many of the whites who were here in apartheid, many of them are French. For example, Dricus du Plessis. You know, he's a French, that boy. The du Plessis are French. The Dinels, all those are French people. All those are French. Du Plessis, Dinels, Enel. This is what I've always said. When these people from Africa say, Leroux, Dutoit, yes, Dutoit. South Africa, they say Dutoit. It's Dutoit. Titiba, you are correct. You know, in Africa, man, colonization, hey, it's perfected there. In Congo, in Angola, yay! Those people, they have no clue who they are. They have no clue who they are. They don't even give a damn about that, actually. All they want is to move out of their countries. Even in West Africa, like deep West Africa, they don't give a damn about anything. They just want to get out of the country. In the past few weeks, I was in a call with this organization from Germany. They offer scholarships to South Africa, to Africans generally. Hey, you know, the South Africans there are the most focused and stable people. Like, they listen and, okay, we understand what this whole thing is. The West Africans, they are asking about visa. Can I get a visa to Germany? And I can see the Germans are not very happy now. Because these people are explaining what the project is. They're not offering visas. No, the Africans want visas. They want to leave right now. So I know, man. And I've always maintained that... in fact, the truest form of being African, although the word itself is stupid, is actually being South African. South Africans are the true guardians of indigenous heritage in Africa. There's no other nation where people can give you their clan names in a poem. They come and sing their clan names and their ancestral names. Tell you, hayi mina ndingusandile kwakhunku, kathukani, kagoqoza, kazinziso, isizukuzuku sikamalukazi, uzaba. They can't do those things. They, like simple things. The Somalis, they are proud of Islam. They're not proud of their Somali culture, their true culture. Those ones are proud of Islam. They'll tell you they are Kushites. Those are delusional. There are countries in ruins. Man. It's literally being raped day in and day out. They're coming here to tell us nonsense. Yeah. So that's what you get. That's the one thing we're talking about. What we're explaining now is exactly what you get when colonization is perfected. You get people who identify with the colonizer. The Portuguese, some Mozambicans say they are Portuguese. It's true, I agree. Oh, fala português. Fala pouco português. Sim, senhor. I'm like, Yeba. Heck, even Zimbabwe worries me actually. You know how much heritage the people of Zimbabwe have? They don't give a damn about that. Even Zimbabwe worries me. You just have Utatu Maponga. He's lying here to the people. Maponga. Oh yes, I forget now. In Zimbabwe, you do have a Mandebele. I guess fortunately for a Mandebele, they do know who they are. But even within a Mandebele, the Kalanga branch, I'm afraid they are. I don't think the Kalanga people know themselves. I don't think the Kalanga people know very, like the Sibandas and the Moyos. They're not sure who they are, those people. They're not sure. Amandebele wona siyawazi ke akhona vele yabona. Odube, Onube, Omtungwa. Those ones they are clear. And then you have Xhosa speakers who are by and large amamfengu. They're actually abambo. 99.9% of the Xhosa speakers in Zimbabwe are actually abambo, who were Christianized in the time of Rhodes. They were Christianized. At least those ones, they know exactly where they come from. They even know the villages. I was in a group actually with Zimbabwean Xhosas. Those ones, they are clear. I've seen how they perform certain traditions as well. It's exactly how we do it. And then even in Botswana, the Kalanga are still there. Hey, those Kalanga, I'm not sure what's happening with Kalanga people. Because 1 minute Kalanga people, we built great Zimbabwe. The next minute, they come from Middle East. Hey, we had a kingdom of Bukalanga. I'm like, hey, what we got here? There's a very strong agenda to deny their indigenous heritage. Anyway, this is what you get, guys, when colonization is perfected. The colonizer doesn't even need to exist anymore. You do the colonizing yourself. That means the parasite has come and taken a hold of the host, laid eggs inside the host, and the eggs integrate with the host. The host becomes the parasite. And that's exactly where black people find themselves today. They're at the crossroads. Some black people, some hosts, realize that, damn, there's a parasite inside of me and I need to remove it. They're scrambling for different ways to remove and get rid of this parasite. I appreciate that effort. But some black people, they are the parasite themselves. That is why we need the cleansing of black people. Black people are the parasite right now, doing the destruction in the black community, in the whole world. They will proudly participate in a project to destroy themselves. Yeah, we say, oh no, the whites, they put disease in our communities. They put HIV and AIDS. We know that. They literally injected HIV and AIDS in our communities. But it's not the whites who are spreading it right now. We are the parasite. When you say, as an old man, to remove your HIV, you must sleep with a 12-year-old virgin, You are the parasite. You're the parasite. So the bigger problem right now, we have to get to a point where we understand that we have to let them go, our own people. So unodange edumile umpikwane mageba sabelo yabizwa. This is my answer to you. Why are we not breaking away from South Africa? We have to break away from South Africa. Hey Bukaranga, hey, those ones, I agree with you. It's Tunya. Yo, I don't even know. You see those things I hate. I hate those things of Tunya and yo, I hate those things about prophet and nonsense. Yeah, man, we need training for battle now. We need to pull funds together. But we have to let go some of our people. They will join later because they are not ready. They are the parasite. Remember back in the day when there was leprosy, you have to put them in quarantine. This is why I started a project 5 months ago. Project Ngasi. I see some members of the project are here. I think I saw 3 today. These guys are paying 250 a month to me to maybe have a much more intimate process. There's this Bulelwa there. She's a member of the project. To have a much more intimate process of undoing this work, man. But to undo the work, we have to understand who we are at a much deeper level. And therefore we started with this whole Khoisan nonsense. And then we went into language. In January, the first cohort of the project Ngasi are graduating. They are moving to the next phase, Undoko. And that one now, we're going to have some practical aspects of the project, not just information. I mean weapons training. I mean we must prepare the kids, man. The children need to be ready. We need to be ready to build a completely independent civilization. But to build that, you must know what to do. I've spent the past 12 to 15 years of my life finding out what to do. And the beautiful thing is that our ancestors survived for thousands of years. They were surviving for thousands of years because they knew exactly what to do. They knew how to preserve food. They knew how to prepare for war and battle. They knew how to have laws in place so that we don't have rapists, liars, thieves in our midst, because that is another symptom of the parasite in our presence. We can't be talking about fighting the system of Europeans. Man, there's a guy who just raped a 12-year-old child. We can't have that. Paternity fraudsters, I agree. And rapists as well. Criminals. And all bottom of the barrel behavior. Ghetto behavior, wretched behavior. You must cleanse yourself from it. Remove. You must palaze. Palaze. For a good 2 to 3 years. Ultimately, where we are going, guys, is to get bloody land in the different provinces. In Limpopo, get a farm, a land there. In Mpumalanga and KZN, we create a network of cells. A network of cells of communities that operate with the same constitution, trade amongst each other. Because the townships are dead, unfortunately. There were concentration camps to begin with. They had potential, but the parasite is too strong there. So when you are building a nice mansion in the township, you're going to rent it out. There's a criminal next door who's organizing to make sure that your townships are broken into. In Khayelitsha, property owners have to pay extortion fees. Black property owners. You know, when I was young, I'm going to be honest, thieves used to be murdered. Rapists used to be beaten in front of everyone. I've seen a good fair share myself. Absent father. Your name. I understand. Don't worry. I didn't even think about that. I know TikTok, people have weird names. People have weird names. And now when you are talking about serious stuff, hey, the name, yeah. So we have to get to a place where we create cells, networks with nodes in different provinces. We know we have a Gauteng group, we've got a Limpopo group, we've got the Mpumalanga group. These are cells of this sect. This is how you infiltrate the government ultimately. That's the thing. You build, you have a property, and then criminals come. But if you build, you have a property, you are part of our cell system. When the criminals come, because we don't operate by Roman Dutch law, we take the criminal and we cut its throat. No one has a right to take what belongs to another person. Those who live by the sword must be unalived by the sword. We cut them off. We have our own policing system. Because AfriForum has their own policing system. The Seylanders have their own policing system. Solidarity have their own policing system. Why is there not even a single melanated group of police? There's even an Aboriginal police force now, funded by AfriForum. Do you guys understand? Do you guys understand what I'm saying? We have to stop doing this talking. That's why I'm not even doing these lives, because not even Pagad. There's another one, an actually white funded one. Pagad, at least, Mara, even them, people are crying. They're saying Pagad is working with criminals, but I don't want to get into that. Pagad is doing something that at least no one else is doing in the community. We have to stop being here all the time. We need to organize. We need to move. You are interested in joining the project? Come on, guys. Inbox me. You can't join it yet. You can't pay yet. $250 a month. It's fine. Go to my YouTube channel. Subscribe. Watch the videos. Prepare yourself. You don't worry. Not done. Don't worry. You see, when it comes to anything indigenous, now I'm ready. Cuisine, dessert, puddings, starches, stews, all the different sorts. Now I'm ready. I'm prepared for this. I've been preparing for this for a very long time. But we need to start now actually moving towards action. Because if you cannot see, international forces are trying to take the country. International forces are trying to take the country, and we have to create this secret society. This sect that I'm talking about, it's already there. There's already people who are part of it. I want these people, some of these people are lawyers. Some of these people are tech leaders in industry. In my program, these are not people who don't have professions. No, these are people who do have professions. I have a lawyer who's international. I have tech people. We need them because we need drones. Ultimately, we get to a point where we infiltrate the bloody hell out of the politics of this country and influence them. We're not running away from our country, our land. We're dissociating with South Africa, the polity. South Africa is a European creation anyway. A damn European creation. There is a process of vetting. So when people want to join, they need to join a 6-month program called Project Ingasi. In that 6-month program, I do all the scanning I need to do. Nobody's going to join the sect unless they join the 6-month program. I don't want diseases in that group. You need to kill the parasite in you first. You need to kill the parasite in you first. So, firstly, a black person must be able to self-diagnose that I'm sick. I am a sick being. I'm doing the bidding of the master. My YouTube channel is Sandile Tugani. It's got about 2,000 subscribers now. I'm trying to get it to 5,000 by February. So, my people, it's 9 p.m. I'm going to drop now. Here's a few things I'm going to give you. I'm currently writing 2 books. One is 70% done. It's a booklet, 100-word booklet. Second one, it's going to take quite a while. It's very deep. And then there's a third small one that I'm going to do books for everything. For children, for our cuisine, dictionary, everyday words, and all that. My approach in working is that I'm not representing a specific culture. I'm not representing Xhosa or Zulu or Pedi. Because the truth is that these people fundamentally come from the same source. So whatever the Zulu people are doing, there's an equivalent within Amaxhosa. There's an equivalent within Vatsonga. You see Amahubo. Amahubo, the songs of war, Samazulu. Amaxhosa, we call that Igwatu and Imihobe. Vatsonga also have those songs. I have them. Songs that were sung in the 1800s. I have them at hand. Everything you think is unique to your culture, it's already there in other cultures. You can go as far as, people who lived in caves. They also have those things. So my approach has always been to kill that. The uniqueness of your culture is not separation. It's uniqueness. I want black people to understand your culture is unique, but it doesn't necessarily separate you. It doesn't otherify. It doesn't otherify the other indigenous people. Because the otherification is a European project where they came with whiteness and otherified us into the other, which is black. So being black existed as a de facto identity of anything that's not white. Black, non-white, colored, kafir, negro, all of them is the same thing. They're all insults, in truth. Doesn't matter how you feel about it, but they're all insults. So the fact that you are Xhosa and the other person is Mupedi, there's no otherification there. You are not one or the other. It's uniqueness, because a tree will have different branches. Trees have different branches, and that's the truth here. But we come from the same root at the core. That's why there is no actual history of us committing genocide against each other. It never happened. It never happened. Anyone who's telling you Shaka was doing genocide, that's a liar. What did happen though, a king wants to rule the other land, will go to the other king. Surrender. You don't want to surrender? I'm taking you out. There were protocols on how to fight as well. That's why I'm going to write books on war. The art of war, but the indigenous way. They talk about the buffalo horns. Yeah, I got buffalo horns, man. There's no buffalo horns here. There was nowhere where Ushaka said, we are doing buffalo horns now, guys. Stealing indigenous things and naming them. I will explain how we had military orders. Amaxhosa, they had Amaqoqo, Inkongo, Intlola, Umkhosi, all the different groups. Abatembu had Inkongolo, and all the different groups. In fact, the guys who are in the project can attest to this. I talk about these things quite in detail. I think right now, as we stand, we've got about more than 30 plus hours. More than 30 hours of content that I've shared on various things. But One thing I'm proud of is when we went deep into the phonetics of language. I completely deconstructed what we call language. And I showed the people who speak isiXhosa and isiZulu that they are actually speaking the same thing. And I explained how over time, sounds change. Qasas. You know, here we are not romanticizing Ushaka at all. Ushaka did interact with Abelungu, including Henry Francis Fane. But also Namaxhosa, they did heavily. Uyinza lo, the one we say his head was taken. He was in a meeting with Abelungu. They didn't just take his head in a random place. No, they were meeting with him. Even Yinza's grandfather, Ukauta. No, Yinza's father, Ukauta. He was getting visitations from whites in the 1700s. So whites were they had these things called explorers and missionaries who were really just agents. They were spies. Those are the first people, traders, explorers and missionaries. Those were spies. Those were the first people to penetrate our lands. They penetrated our lands. They met with most of the kings. I know some kings are romanticized nowadays. No, they did meet with whites. They did work with whites. I think it goes back to that thing of Ubuntu. At some point, it was just sheer naivety. It was just naivety, which is that state of being an infant that white people love from us. We've interacted with white people since the 1400s, by the way. Since the 1400s. This thing of 1652 is nothing. Go back to the times of the Portuguese. Some were apologists to whites. There's a man called Unrika. He was a friend of whites. He even gave them lands, which caused a massive war. Unrika, a royal prince. There's a man called Ustata. Ustata, who married King Sandile's daughter, Victoria. King Sandile's daughter's name was Victoria. Imagine a Xhosa king with a daughter called Victoria, another one called Emma. Kanuka. And we have to clean. We have to clean house. That's why I'm saying there are no bars. There's no as Dali, man. As Dali, we are cleaning everything now. Even our own parents, guys, they worship whiteness. That's the truth. Our own peers, us, we worship whiteness. It's an inherited disease. It started back in the day. So we must go back in time. We must go back in time. But it's not for everyone, these things, you know. It's not for everyone. Nah, I know I'm quite abrasive, so I don't even like celebrity culture, so screw them. I really care about people who care about themselves. I care about people who care about themselves. People who want to free themselves. People who want to free themselves. People who want to own their own narrative and reality. Especially transfer that to their families and their children. So when you're joining, you will become a member of secret society. And don't worry, you will have learned by then that it's nothing new. Our ancestors survived because of it. Oh no, don't worry, we are not going to be sacrificing you to Lucifer, guys. I don't do those stupid things. Here we are free. We are free from whiteness, including their Lucifer. They must go with their Lucifer and all those things. Their Lucifer used to be black, by the way. You know that? The devil. He used to be black in paintings. Look at all the paintings of the devil and demons. In truth, you were the devil and you were the demons. Not just in European culture, even in Indian cultures. Even in Indian cultures, the devils are always dark-skinned. They're not white. But when you look at on the ground, the people who are doing the atrocities, it's white. Now they've changed the devil to be red, just to be politically correct. Yeah, they've made him red now. So, nah, let's deal with facts and objective reality, guys. Yeah, no, they say it's burnt skin. But scientifically, we know melanin is the one thing that guarantees humanity. Without melanin, your DNA is absolutely going to mutate. Therefore, you're not going to be of pure DNA. You understand? In fact, people with albinism know this as a truth. They are mutated. They don't have enough melanin to protect their genetic integrity. So they say dark, it's devil, it's not human, but it's actually the actual guaranteed humanity. Because it blocks, it encapsulates your deoxyribonucleic acid and other genetic materials. It encapsulates them from mutation. But again, facts don't matter these days. No, we'll have our own spies. We'll have our own spies. I'm already working on it, guys. I'm already working on it. Yeah, those who want to join, please send me a message on the side. I don't want to waste too much time. Message on the side, and then I will explain the process. And then, since I'm writing the books, I've created a backer buddy. Someone actually suggested that I do this. I wasn't even going to do it. Someone suggested I do a backer buddy. So I created a backer buddy. It's going to probably kick off this week. It's going to last for 2 months. So I'm also going to share the link and all that. So you can share it in other places. So yeah. The truth is that, guys, it's enough, man. We've tried. Capitalism is not going to work. Socialism is not going to work. Leninism is not going to work. Marxism is not going to work. It's not going to work. It would have worked by now. Even Europeans know this truth, by the way. They know none of these things actually work. They know it. That's why in America today, white supremacists are gearing up to destroy the entire system. Because the system can only thrive if one group is above the other. There's no fair play in capitalism or socialism or Leninism or Marxism or any schism and ism. The white supremacists, under the leadership of the late Charlie Kirk, who was taken out by his own people, and that wife is shady as hell, by the way. You know, that wife, I'm pretty sure she's been involved with that Jewish guy, Jeffrey Epstein, Trump's friend. Trump himself, by the way, is accused of having raped a 12-year-old child. Anyway, Charlie Kirk, now the one who's taken over is this, the guy who's in the closet. Who is it? Nick Fuentes. Nick Fuentes. Yeah. So, they've been gearing up now to even remove the whole thing of conservative politics. They don't even believe in it anymore. They just want whiteness. And in that whiteness, remember now, the guys need to be at the top. White women don't mind, because white women, they know they're above black people, including black men. So they don't mind. As long as the white man is going to be at the top, white women will be accessory to that. They don't mind. And those very same white women, they have this psychological hold over black men. We call it bunny hopping these days. Whilst our sisters are busy crying about lobster and pasta, and they're getting blue-ticked by the white guys, and the black men are bunny hopping on the side. And the white women actually think they own black men. They think they own black men. Yeah, they hate black women. If they see a black woman who has a good marriage, hey, I've seen some of them in America. They don't like black women. It's like they have this psychological claim over black men. It reminds me of back in the day, in the days of boss and master, when your father or our fathers are busy working in the garden. The madam is calling them, hey, Willem. That's a black man, by the way. Willem, come on, fix for me there. And then the madam closes the room. Willem services the madam first. So the madam knows they used to do that. That's why they are so obsessed with black women. They don't like black women. The madams, they don't like black. They will hijack anything that black women are doing. Anything. Even the black women's protest, they will hijack the hell out of it and use it for their own agendas. That's all I have to say. That's all I have. They will take anything from the black woman. But anyway, that's not the point for today. If you don't know what my work is about, go and watch my content. My YouTube channel is suddenly Tukan. I can't explain now what I'm doing, guys. You'll catch up later. Ixesha liqhathwe yinja amadoda. Untulu uphumile ehlangeni. Oh! Untulu uphumile ehlangeni. It's time now. Ilizwe lifile. You know, back in the day, they used to have a horn called isigodlo. When the armies are attacking, one man is going to blow the horn. Boop, boop. Now you know ilizwe lifile. The country is dead. War is here. But before war, there's rumors of war. There's rumors of war. We call it amaxongo. There's rumors of war. You have to prepare. Because just like you know, when it's going to rain, izulu liyasibekela. Izulu liyaqubayela. You can see that it's about to rain. There's a storm coming. You don't sit down and say, it's going to rain. It's so cute. You prepare. Izulu qalisibekela liqubayela, you prepare. Liyasibekela right now. Alizongoma, it's thundering. Liyazongoma, it's thundering. Liyandila. At a distance, it keeps on thundering. Boop, boop, boop. You see, in Joburg, liyazongoma kakhulu izulu. Liyazongoma kakhulu. You can see it, that the weather is changing. You prepare. Can't you see that the weather is changing right now in South Africa? Don't tell me you can't see that. Come on, guys. Don't tell me you can't see that the weather is changing in South Africa. The weather is changing in South Africa. And when the rain comes, it's going to pour. It's going to come with hail. It's going to come with hail. And when it pours, Baba. If you don't have insurance, asazi. I hope you get what I'm saying. I hope you get what I'm saying. 2030 is a cut-off date for a lot of things. 2030 is a cut-off date for a lot of things. And by then, I think we should be ready. No dange dumile, tudange gelanga. Ah, no dange. As stating ilanga, siyazekelisa now. We're speaking in parables. This is secret language now. Don't worry, I understand. The thing is, I teach about everything, so I get it. So my people, it's getting dark now. It's getting dark, and it's getting really, really dark. When bulls come at loggerheads, it's tough for the grass. Yabon. Kusipula, they uproot uchan. So I need you guys to prepare now. We must not live in mythology of religion, mythology of political theory and all those nonsensical things. I'm saying to you, in America, the alt-right are preparing to take things by force. They're preparing to take things by force. Just now, 2 white men were arrested. They were preparing to go and invade an island in Haiti. They were preparing to invade an island in Haiti. One conscripted himself to the military to learn how to command order. Another one went to Asia to learn sailing. Another one went and enrolled in something else so that they are ready. They are raising money. When it rains, it pours. You think they're playing? Go online and search the Saidlanders. Saidlanders. And see what they've been doing. I was still a teenager when I learned about them. The State Landers. I promise you, those boys were training when I was 19, a grown man now. And you're sharing the stadium with them when you're watching rugby. One mistake, you step on their toes. They show you who they are. How many videos have I been seeing? How many videos have I been seeing of black men who are being manhandled by white South Africans? Because black men are not trained. And this is another reason why you really need to stop taking out your frustrations on lesser. You need to stop that. You need training. We need training, guys. Even the black women, actually, at this point, I don't give a damn about black women and men. You need to learn to shoot, learn to handle knives, learn to survive in the wild. Yeah, black people are not ready. And I've always said this. They don't like it, but it's the truth. Black people are not ready for anything. Even when they go on protesting, they don't want to die in that protest. But they say we want freedom, we want our rights, but you don't want to die for it. So you're not ready. You're just cosplaying. You're just cosplaying. Usandile lona ngwakwamadzikane. Kuhlathi ngujambase ngulisa ngucanze ngusanza ngohla ngomvelweni usidulu ngube emhlophe. Kuphala kuhle lendlela iyehlela umabona bulawa njengomthakathi. Umalelwa zintombi zithi mfoka undizeke. Ndinguluncu ndingumwandla ndingumandi wafikela uhlangeni. Ndikuzaba ndingumfene mazabe zabela abafokazi. Zalwa ngamanzi othi unyelenze umaphango ungqala unqake nxa sinuxoxa. Uqhama uwele. Liyobe phambili imbuzi ngaseva kumtya nethunga kwakwasemanzothweni. Hoyini bafazi bentsikizi lethona nayiphazama nithabatha isidoda. Ngoma lihlatyelwe isifazi. Tsiba nkuluka yuthu untaba kahili. Unabele emntwini uhebebe magatyana. Komo zikambiko zikamanqomo zikamlawo. Amako. The State Landers claim their membership is now more than 130,000 strong. And those ones are a militant group. AfriForum more than 100,000. And they've got a military arm as well. And there's more others. There's way more others. There's not even one black militia. Not even one. But what shall we do? Mapiano. Kilimanjaro. We've been reduced to entertainment for them. We are dancing. I saw there when the G20 leaders are arriving. There's some dumb Amapanzula people who are dancing there. Some stupid Amapanzula dance. It's so ugly. It's not even coordinated well. Even I know how to dance Amapanzula better than those guys who were there. The best thing I saw there was some vendor women dancing. It was at least clean. All the other, it looks so ridiculous. It looks so ridiculous. I'm like, why are you even embarrassing black people like this in front of the world? But that's our status in the world now. We are an embarrassment to the world. We're a laughing stock. Yes. Funny thing, there was a guy, he's a Congolese. He was working with me a few years ago. He stays in this other complex in the Blowback area in Cape Town. So he goes to his complex. There's load shedding in those years. And then there's a white woman who looks at him and is like, "Are you sure you stay here? You look shady. You look dodgy." Man, that's when I realized, no. Like, even if you can say, I now have money, guys, I stay in a nice complex. They can tell you, those people, you look dodgy, you don't belong here. Are you sure you belong here? Do you understand what I'm saying? You can't hide behind money. This one you can't. There were richer black people before. They all fell to the same sword. The sword of white supremacy. Because the parasite is inside. The parasite doesn't wash away because of how many digits you have on your banking app. Elon Musk was interviewed this week. He said money in the next 50 years will become obsolete. You can't hide behind it. It's going to become useless. There's going to be other forms of buying. So what I'm saying is, We should not allow ourselves to be reduced to caricatures. There's a story that Jacob Zuma tells when he arrived in Joburg. I don't know what he did, but the white man asked him something, and then he couldn't speak English. So the white guy is asking, what say ye, kafir? What say ye? So now there's a translator there. The translator is saying, Utini kafir, Utini kubasi kafir. And that captures perfectly the kind of black people you had and still have. The one who's a victim of the system, who's Zuma at that time. And the other one who's also a victim of the system and still perpetuates it, the translator. The white guy is like, what say hey kafir? Zuma tells this story. I think he was working in the mines or something. He was arriving in Joburg. He's like, what say hey kafir? And then the translator, utini kafir. Utini kubasi kafir. I laughed because I'm like, damn, it's a proper example of what we are in right now. It's what we are in right now. And guys, I know when you surround yourself with people like me or like us, it's easy to think people like that don't exist. That's delusion, because when you go out there, you realize there are people who are deep into the dark corners of the white asshole. They are deep into the rectum of whiteness. Deep. They're like this, ready to take it all, so long as they will get a pat on their back. So at some point, you have to be very abrasive about it to protect yourself as well. You can't be nice about this. You cannot be nice to stupid black people. Let me just put it like that. Stupidity doesn't deserve politeness. I repeat, stupidity does not deserve politeness. I called on these stupid people who say they come from Congo. They didn't come here to the live. Where are they? I called on them. So when they host a live right now, after this one, you go there and entertain their stupidity. Don't tag me. Asifundisi intaka kupapa apha. We're not teaching birds how to fly here. Those who are from Congo, you must believe them. When they say they are from Congo, you must believe them. Because we do have a couple of foreigners here. Maybe his ancestors were really foreigners, eh? Maybe they were really from Congo. I believe them. Now I've stopped arguing with them. Say they are Congo. I agree, my brother. Go back. You are from there? Go back, my brother. Don't tell me your nonsense, though. I don't want to know it. Guys, thank you very much. I'm off now. I'll see you again. I'll try to host another live whenever I get a chance. I'm sorry if I don't get a chance. I'm sorry if I don't. Ubaba Credo Mutwa, my opinion on him. Ubaba Credo Mutwa, guys, is Sangoma. And I've always tried to say this. Is Angoma and not our culture. They are not our history. They are people like us. They will be good at some things, they won't be good at others. Yabo. So, I've listened to Baba Credo Mutwa for years while he was still alive. Yabo. About Credo Mutwa says, Utwase 7 different times. 7 different times. Ukale etwasa apa ngokwesintu salapha. But Baba Credo Mutwa ended up etwasa ngokwezinto zase Nyasa land. Etwasa ngokwezinto zamanyasa nase Zimbabwe. Yabo. So for me, there are certain things as Tetayo that he says I don't have a problem with, but I don't need them. Let me just be honest with you. I don't need Credo Mutwa to tell me what to do. Our ancestors already kept that for us. You don't need a Sangoma to tell you what to do. You don't need a prophet to tell you what to do. You don't need any special person. You need this. This is what needs healing, the brain. So Credo Mutwa was doing his part for his own reasons. And again now, I am doing what my ancestors left me with. The power to self-determine. There are certain things that I won't be hyped over because I don't work with emotion. I work with facts and reality. Yabo. So sometimes some things are just emotive. Too emotive. Oh wow, we're gonna be destroyed. The Muslims are gonna take over. If you knew the reality of South Africa, they've already got control of many things in this country. You're saying they're gonna take over. You already don't have any control. You don't have any control. Take over what? I'll now control. But anyway, people who wanna follow those kind of things, they have every right to do so, man. Yabo. Mna ndizalwa ke zezangoma. Futhi ndaphehlelelwa. You see, ubulawo. I know it. I know the taste of it. Umphukulo enhloko ndiwazi kahle. Ubuhlalo bubomvu nobumhlophe ndiwazi kakuhle. Telling you about me. But I don't need those kind of things. You don't need sangoma, you don't need prophet, you don't need isithunywa, you don't need any of that nonsensical stuff. You need a plan, you need determination, you need focus and commitment. That is the truth. The human mind and the human spirit doesn't get easily defeated. You can have all the sangomas in the world. They can tell you all the secrets you'd like to hear. It's not going to change anything about your reality. Nothing. That's the thing about these people. They thrive on people's fears. I deal with reality. Objectable or observable reality. So you must first take that fear and carve it out like this and throw it down. What do you fear? Do you fear to die? Then maybe it's time to face the death itself. What's the worst that can happen to a human being? Death. Death is freedom. So I don't like those things that work with fear and emotions. You're fearing that your country is going to be invaded. Countries are invaded on a daily basis. You think yours is not going to be invaded? You think yours is not going to be invaded? Come on, guys. Countries get invaded all the time. The best thing you can do is prepare for the worst and hope for the best and be practical, be logical about things. Take advantage of technology. That's where I stand. We could talk about Sangoma stuff. I have above average knowledge on those ones. I was born into it. For those who don't know, I was born into Ubungoma. I was raised on Ubungoma. But I don't need that for anything. That's my truth. If your body is sick, your body can be healed. But if your mind is sick, you have to do most of the work of healing. And that's what is wrong with black people. Black people don't need magic. They don't need voodoo. They don't need miracles even. They need focus and determination. And to decide, now, this is where we are going on. This is not where we are going. That's it. I don't want anything other than that. I want practicality and reality. Thank you, guys. I'm gonna pray. No, I'm gonna post this, man. I'm reading this thing about prayers. I'm gonna post this on YouTube, and yeah, you guys can go and watch and share with other people. Feel free to share my work. If you wanna cut it and do whatever, do your thing. I don't mind. And don't waste your time, man, guys, with stupidity. You know, like people who are talking about Bantu migration already they're sick, man. Here, don't waste your time. Focus. A lot is at stake. Thank you very much, everyone. I'm out.